Hey guys, I'm the Kentucky Atheist here with you again. Today I've got something special for you. We're going to do a live stream with Robin Webster showing us some witchcraft and some spells, talking about some history and things like that. And I've got Dave from Captive Desk here, who's a little more knowledgeable in this stuff than I am. And we're going to take a look at some of the things and talk about it. And I hope everybody joins in and wants to take part in the discussion. Please go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't, or wait. And if you like it, subscribe. If you don't, don't. But let's see. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to everybody.
So Robin, you at one time were actually a practicing witch, you would say. Is that a fair way to describe it? And you're also quite well read on the history and lore, and from experience know some of the things that go on. You have a lot of paraphernalia associated with it, and Dave does too, actually. And so I mean, this show's pretty much going to be, I'm going to let you guys probably talk more than me, but I'll let you go ahead and start. Robin, you want to maybe introduce a little bit about what you're going to be doing and tell us a little bit about whatever you want to tell us, I guess.
I'm Robin Webster. I am a skeptic and an atheist and a humanist, but I grew up Christian, and as probably about 5 years ago, I left Christianity and decided to become a witch. And I really thought I'd found my calling for the rest of my life when I found witchcraft. But I did. When I'm kind of go all in on things. So, I learned a lot about witchcraft and then dumped it off. And my dog. I'm sorry.
Mine are sleeping right now, so hopefully they're quiet.
No, it's that's what they do, right? Well, Dave, you've actually you did a stream here a while back that was not necessarily just focused on witchcraft, but some of the Ouija board and things like that, and some stuff actually related to UFOs, which was a great video. What's the title of that video so everybody can go look at it?
That's my summoning stream, and it
Okay.
comes from the previous video I did about Hugh Ross. Hugh Ross made a claim of basically a scientific test that if you dabble in anything the occult, even listen to certain music, which would include a lot of the rock music that I've listened to over the years, anything that's occult related, then and only then, these people are the ones that are seeing UFOs and aliens. So we did a stream, we dabbled. I'm sure Robin knows way more than I do, but there wasn't any rules like you had to know what you were doing or anything. He just said, if you play around with this stuff, it's a gateway for the demons, and the aliens are actually demons in disguise. So I put him to the test with the video. I got some tarot cards. I've got them right here. I had them unopened. I went in this totally blind and fair, as unbiased as I could be. So I opened these. I'd never done it before. I opened them. We read the directions. We kind of learned the basics on how to do a simple 3-card reading, what the cards, past, present, future, just covering some of the basics. And I went outside, and I've been hoping to get a telescope stream, but the weather here just hasn't cooperated. And of course, this time of year, it's, kind of cloudy, but I have been out looking, and I didn't see anything in the sky yet, and nothing has shown up.
Yeah.
Nothing has moved, no voices, nothing. So, but I'm putting it to Hugh Ross's word, and I was making it scientific as possible. And I am open to any of the things they claim will happening. But so far, I'm still waiting.
So does Hugh Ross actually believe in aliens?
Hugh Ross is as a Christian apologist.
But does he believe in aliens?
He believes they are demons in disguise.
Oh, okay. It's just people are seeing them and thinking they're aliens or something.
Right. But they're actually giving messages about don't believe in Jesus. But as far as I could tell, people who have encounters with UFOs and aliens actually get spiritual, and some find God after their experiences. So I found what Hugh Ross claimed to be contrary to what I found. But we are putting Hugh to the test, and we're going to give it a thorough test. And I'm going to make sure I get the telescope in and everything, and I'm going to cover all the bases. And then he said, contact him if it doesn't work. And I plan to, if it works or doesn't work.
I would be more likely to believe in the aliens than the demons.
Well, Hugh is a devout Christian. And I thought he was very moderate because he does debunk a lot of the creationist claims, like a 6,000-year-old Earth and stuff. He says, no, we can, and he'll rattle off all the science and explain why we know the universe is old. But when you start talking about UFOs, he goes full out demons. Everything's demons. It's all the occult. He claims he has seen things floating around rooms and everything. So
I would scare him to death. I actually studied a little bit of black magic, and I am going to go over that on one of our shows. I'm going to dabble in Luciferian magic, so he'll like that one. If we can call the demon with that. I have the black magic. You have demon calling, you know what I mean, but it don't have anything to do with aliens.
Well, and I went all out because I get my.
Now, I will tell you, Dave, you are supposed to sleep with them under your pillow.
Right.
And you are supposed to, smoke them a little bit, even cigarette smoke, to cleanse them, of any kind of, even though they are brand new, you want to get them all, supposedly supposed to get all, the energies off.
There are a lot of witch spells that include keeping things under your pillow at night. I've noticed
yes,
that.
Your cards, it helps you connect. Supposed to. So now I'm going to say all this stuff like I believe it, just way we practice it. But I don't believe this anymore. So
I got a witchcraft book. This is all kind of spells from around the world, all through time. It's just a collection, and we went through this and we tried some weather spells and whatnot, just because.
Wait till you see Robin's book.
I had over $600 worth of that I sold used. So that I probably had a couple $1,000s in them. And I sold them all, but I still have all of mine that I made. That I have 6 big binders full of spells and rituals and correspondence, which is like when you do a spell, you use certain herbs and candle colors and that kind of thing for your intention. And
to be honest, I heard Ouija board and tarot cards for the last time. Okay.
I've never played with a Ouija board. Is a game. It's a kid's game. I mean, it was put out by Milton Brothers or something.
Well, the believers are terrified of them.
I know.
I honestly heard it for the last time, so I ordered a Ouija board and some tarot cards because it was the last time, and that is, again, this all stems from Hugh. Now, Hugh also made the claim that India is a big hot spot for demons. So to cover that base, I also got How to Summon Demons, and this is Indian summonings, and it's opening portals and everything. So we played around with this a little bit, mainly again because I'm following what Hugh is claiming, that all the demons right now are in India. So I got one. So I got a book of Hindu spells. So I'm trying to follow him to the letter as best as I can. And so this is the other book I got. So these are Hindu incantations to open demons. And what you can do is, it's not just evil things. You can control the demon to
Yes.
get it to do what you want. So
Yes.
you can get it to do something you want that may be good in spite of what the demon's intentions are.
Well, like the Luciferians and stuff, and they don't just like most of them, the black magic, they will have a certain demon that is like their particular demon that they follow, and it's not always Lucifer. Sometimes it's a lesser demon, but the demon to them, the demons are not evil. I mean, the demons are like the closest to us, in between. Like there's a realm beyond or whatever, but then the closest realm to us would be the demon realm. They are barely, they're not human, but they're just a step above humans as far as being in the spiritual realm. And they do things for us. Once if you connect with one and have, worship services or whatever for it, or nothing about like sacrificing live animals or chickens or nothing like that. But well, that's hoodoo. I mean, voodoo does,
Right.
does, but not the black magic. But they, they worship one. They have like a demon, a specific demon they worship that they stay with all the time. That's their preferred demon, and I couldn't get her to go upstairs. Hush, hush. She's bad. I couldn't get her to go upstairs, and I can't pack her. She's too big.
That's okay. She's welcome. Maybe she'll point out whenever we talk to some demons here.
That's what I said. She's picking up on something. She might be picking up on something.
Stuff outside. Is she real loud? Is it coming out?
No. It's have you ever watched one of our Raw streams? It's fine.
I know.
Those dogs freak out.
I can't hardly stand them dogs barking. Actually, that drives me crazy.
That's what they're supposed to do, though, right? So
I can go get my snake after a while.
My puppy is learning to bark from the older dog. I was just telling him earlier. Are you teaching him how to bark? So the little guy's starting to bark now, so it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
She hears stuff outside, so she's.
So how to say this? First of all, Dave, all that stuff about the UFO stuff and all that, I think that's all really interesting, and I hope you do a telescope stream, because I'm real big into all that stuff, and that's
it's ready. It's set up. It's right inside the garage door. I put a video up the other day just to show folks. I was like, look, I put the camera up. It's clouds every evening, even when we have a clear, the sun's out during the day. As soon as evening comes, here comes the clouds. And we had it like pretty much all summer. We had a really weird summer. We had a real mild, cool summer here, lots of clouds. And then earlier in the summer, we had the smoke too from the fires up in Canada.
I had some of that too.
We've had really crappy skies, so it's just not the best time to be looking through a telescope. But even if it's cold out, hey, I'll put on my coat and I'll get the telescope out. Sooner or later, I'll have the telescope.
I love astronomy and cosmology, and I don't know if you're familiar, but have you seen any of like the rocket launches that Red's Rhetoric does, and Astronomy Live, and but
I've got a bunch of astronomy channels I follow, but I wouldn't know if that was a specific one. But
right,
and a full friend of mine, her brother has a channel on Facebook, and he has a nice setup. He's out in Arizona, I think, and he gets some great shots. It's
out in the desert out there, man. The sky is beautiful. You can see the pattern of the Milky Way and all that, things you can't see when you live, anywhere where there's much light pollution, which is everywhere else. So
if you're on Facebook, look for Delvo Observatory, I think he calls himself.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah, I'll check that. Yeah, I love that stuff. That's actually
it'll be obviously a Telescope page, but it's Delvo.
It was actually looking. I was actually watching physics and cosmology videos. Is what led me to some of the atheist debates and stuff that I first watched with Hitchens and things like that, because there was like a crossover with Lawrence Krauss and Dawkins, and there was, so it's actually a big part of how I ended up where I'm at now. But the yeah, I think that stuff's awesome, and I look forward to it. Anybody that's watching too, Dave's link is in the description of the video, so you can
Dave,
watch for it too.
If you need any like professional advice, get hold of me. I'm gonna be here. Mute this real quick. I think my dog is coming in, and I can't find the mute.
But so
yeah, I like exploring all kind of stuff at the captive desk. So we like to have a little fun. There's a bit of humor at my channel. We like to keep things light because, in this world, I like to add a little humor to my stuff. But we try not to be disrespectful or anything, and we do like to explore a lot of things. And we also trailed it off to another channel with the Grassman Chronicles I do with trees, and we take a look at a lot of weird stuff on that channel too. So we enjoy it.
I was in one of your live streams here in the last couple days, and it was one of the better discussions. Just people talking about facts. That was I thought it was a great video myself. I prefer that kind of stuff. I want the information, like we're going to talk about witchcraft and stuff tonight, which has a lot of just witchcraft stuff in it, but at the same time you get into some of the information about it, and that's really where all this gets interesting, I think. But do you where do you guys want to start at? You want to talk about history, or you want to go right into some tarot cards? Or I would hold off on the.
I got my little speech, whatever that I was going to do on just.
Okay.
It don't take just a few minutes.
No.
All my animals are all over me.
I tell you what.
Let's hear what Robin has.
Okay. Did you get a wheel? Kentucky Atheist, did you make a wheel?
I didn't mean to do that.
Did you do a wheel?
I've read about making a circle and everything, but I haven't actually done it. I've just been reading about it.
This is the wheel of the year is what it is, and
I think I may have something like that in my goodie box I got.
Some of the holidays are actually old. The wheel of the year was actually put together and coordinated by Gerald Gardner, who is the founder of Wicca. And it was like in 1953, somewhere around there, when he founded Wicca. Wicca is actually listed as a religion in the United States. The military recognizes it. They have Wiccan priestesses and stuff in the military. And you can have it put on your dog tags, and you can have it up on your tombstone, stuff. So it is a nation recognized religion. But have you ever wondered where Halloween came from? Where did we get trick or treating? Where did the pumpkins and things like that? Well, this holiday is called Samhain. It's Samhain, salmon. That's what it looks like, but it's Samhain. And it is a Gaelic festival from the 9th century that celebrated the dying of everything, leaves falling off, and the dying of everything, and getting ready to go into winter and having to store up stuff and put it up for the winter. And it's the Witch's New Year. and it's the crone has to do with the crone, which is the old witch. You got the maiden and the crone and the mother, the maiden, mother, crone. That's the 3 stages of life, and so they all of the Esbits and the Sabbats, which are what is on the wheel, celebrate the solstices and the equinoxes of the moon, and that's what everything is. So this is a mid between an equinox and a solstice, and this is a what they call a greater Sabbath. Okay, and it's Gaelic festival, which it was in Ireland, just the whole up in the Gaelic area, Scotland and stuff like that. And it celebrated they believe that veil got thinner between the spirit world and the earthly world. They would they believe that you could contact your ancestors a lot in this time. And they had, they would have a big bonfire, and they would run between the bonfire, and a lot of the what they call witch, people talk about riding brooms. That was one of the things that they would do. They would get on their brooms and they would jump in the fields to show how, because it's called sympathetic magic, which means that they would get on there and jump and show how high they wanted their corn to grow. And that's what that was. That's called sympathetic magic. Anytime you do that, something like that right there. And that's where people got that they were riding brooms. But anyway, there was 3 things that was done that was called guising, souling, and mumming. And they all had something to do with going door to door and knocking on the door. And souling, they would hand out soul cakes that the people would bake. And they would give prayers in place. So I think that's pretty much where I believe the trick-or-treating came from, and dressing up, because they did that. And the jack-o'-lantern, Jack was a man that tricked the devil. And the devil got so mad after being tricked so many times that when Jack died, he couldn't go to heaven, and he couldn't go, and the devil wouldn't leave him in hell. And so he roamed the earth. He had to jump in a pumpkin, in a jack-o'-lantern. That's how the jack-o'-lantern came about. But that's about all I've got on history. I mean, it's one of the festivals. The next one will be Yule, which was Christmas. Yeah. It was Yule first. So
yeah, it's another example of how as Christianity and other religions became more popular, they adopted these holidays and just made some changes to make them fit into both religions, really.
Yeah, it was a lot easier because these people already practiced these dates. You know what I mean? These were already holidays that they celebrated. And so if you tried to make them celebrate different days, you know what I mean, then that, that wouldn't work. I mean, they wanted to keep their holidays. So they just renamed them, a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I can be on the stage and show you in
where did Dave go?
He's still here. I just took him down while he was off cam.
Okay.
I got my stage incense going. Can you see it?
That's good. That's what you need to clean your cards with.
Cleansing, yes.
I burned some sage before we got going.
I should run my cards through the smoke too.
Yes, smoke cleanse them. And
I'm gonna do.
You don't have any crystals, do you?
Yeah, I've got crystals.
Okay. What kind do you have?
I've got an assortment of them.
Well, you can, when you're storing them, you can set them, and you can set where you're going, when you're getting ready to do a reading, you can set them on the thing and set a crystal on top of them, on top of the stack. And that is supposed to charge them.
I'm running I'm running my cards through the smoke. There's my
Yes,
cards, and they're
yeah,
going
that's a
through the
good thing.
smoke.
That's a good thing. The smoke cleanse, and
Right.
you know that's the way you cleanse them. But they should, like, you're supposed to be able to connect better with them after you sleep with them under your pillow. The longer longer you become connected with those cards, the more like you don't want to let anybody else touch them. You know what I mean? Don't let anybody use yours. And
Okay.
like after a reading, cleanse them again every time, unless you do your own readings. But if you do your own reading, usually most people have their own cards for readings for themselves. I did, and then cards for readings for everybody else. I never read nobody with my cards.
All right, my cards are cleansed.
Good job.
And nobody messes with my stuff anyway. My wife's kind of creeped out about a Ouija board anyways, so.
Tell her not to worry about it. Tell her not to worry about it.
Yeah, and I've got a cool bag to keep them in too.
Oh yes. That is the that's the triple goddess, triple moon goddess.
Yeah, but as far as what I know, like I said, I just have the little book that came with it. So I've just got the basics. Oops, and I dropped it. That's not good luck.
Yeah, that is the maiden mother crone. That what you've got right there.
But this is supposed to be the classic version of tarot cards. So
what deck is it? What's it called?
It's just called classic, as far as I know. It says classic tarot.
Okay.
Let me see what's inside here. It doesn't really say, Robin.
Oh,
you wanna see one?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to. I guess I know that deck. There's like so many decks.
Yeah, it's called a classic version. It says on the book, classic tarot. That's all it says.
See, I have a bag with the triple moon goddess on it too.
Same one, just mine's black. Yep.
Now, this is the most common tarot deck right here. This is like the most widely recognized deck right here. And with the pictures, I don't know if you see them in the light, but the pictures are like the easiest to recognize. These are one of the easiest decks to read with.
Yeah, these have a lot on them.
Yeah, see it when you're learning your cards, like you have to learn your like each individual card and what it means. You know what I mean? And then reading them together.
That's what this little handbook does. It has.
Yeah, reading them together is like
cards. Yeah,
trying to string a sentence out of them. You know what I mean? It's like, once you get up over 3 cards, then it's just like.
I didn't get past the 3-card reading.
That's a good read. That's a good read for.
We were just trying to do it, open-minded and following the directions. That's what I did. So,
like Celtic Cross is real. It's got like 13 cards. It's pretty hard, to sit down and make sense of it. But each card in each position has a certain, there's a certain thing that position means. But I like the 3-deck card, the 3-deck reading. It's a good reading for just to do every day, actually. That's what I always did.
Yeah, that's how the little book started, was with this is your basic 3-card read. And I was like, well, this is perfect. So we kind of just followed along with what the book said. So that's what I did.
Yeah, you have to, like I said, you have to really learn the other, all the card meanings, like pretty well before you start trying to read like big.
I made sure to tell everybody that, that there's a lot more. And when KA said something about you knew something about them, I'm like, well, cool. And I want to hear what you got to say about them. So,
and I've got some stuff I can send you too. That like a site. I mean, have you watched anybody on read tarot?
Yep. But they were doing like it must have been like a 13 or so, where they had a big spread of cards all over the table.
Yeah,
There's this one gal I follow on YouTube that does them, but it's really hard to follow, because it's, well, this card and this card and this card and this card. So then obviously you have to know a lot more about what each card is and what it means to the other cards, right?
Yes. You've got four elements, which the tarot cards, they represent the four elements.
Yeah, I have an element on each card.
You got fire. You've got, that's wands. Or is yours wands? Some of them have two different names, but the most common is fire is wands.
This says fire on it.
Okay, and then you've got water, which will be cups. On most decks, it's cups. Or chalices or something like that.
Fire and air.
Yeah. And air will be your swords most of the time. See, there's that's the common ones, but then there's some that have chalice and stuff like that. They have little different names, but the same thing.
Now,
and
some of these are half and half.
Then earth will be your pinnacles.
Like this one says water/fire.
What's the card?
Some are a combination of.
See, they shouldn't. I mean, you should have a you should have a 1 through king of every suit.
These are both the queen and the page of wands. They both look like royalty.
Oh, it's two different cards on there. Okay, on one card. Is what it is.
Well, these are both mixed ones. Yeah, the Queen of Wands.
The Queen of Wands
is a water fire.
She's fire. Queen of Wands is fire.
Okay.
And who did you say? The Page of Cups.
The Page of Wands is fire and earth.
Fire. Anything wands will be fire first. But the Queen,
is it like a secondary element then?
Well, because she's the Queen, she's under cups.
Okay.
She's the feminine energy. She's cups.
Okay.
She's earth and cups, earth and water. And the male energy is air and fire. Those are masculine energies. And
gotcha.
the water and the cups are the earth energies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why there's two different elements on there.
And then you've got ones that are like things like the Tower card, which is
the Tower is a
people falling out of a tower.
The Tower means destruction or just renewal energy. It's just like when everything's going to be redone. The Tower would be like getting a divorce, or it's something and it's not always bad, but it usually is read with bad.
That's what I was understanding. Yeah, you can pull a bad card, but wait, that's not bad because this other card.
Yeah, most people are afraid of the Tower card. When they get it, it's like, oh, but because.
Well, I pulled it right out, so I'm not doing too good.
It just means you're just getting ready to just blow everything up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And that might be good for some people, but most people don't want that. Yeah. The Queen of Wands is she's not married to the King of Wands. She is a single woman, businesswoman. She has a job, career, stuff like that. And she is not married to the King of Wands, who is the playboy of the deck. The King of Wands is he's the woman chaser, womanizer, whatever. Anytime you draw the King of Wands, you know that you're messing with some dude that's just going to just run around on you, pretty much. He has a lot of passion, but he has a lot of passion with everybody. The King of Cups and the Queen of Cups are married, and they are a couple, and they are like the most loving couple. They are like this. They're together, and he is the perfect, just adoring husband, and she is just the homemaking, lovely, wife. But she's a little emotional. Cups are emotions. That's what they are. Fire is like your actions. Your fire is your actions. That's why they represent activity, actions. And your signs are like Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and just one more. Can't think of
Well,
it.
I notice a lot of these have weapons too. There's a lot of
The wands.
swords and knives.
There's wands on there. Okay. Oh, there's knives. Is it knives on there?
Well, I'm looking at the pictures. They
Some
appear.
of the decks have different things, but the swords are air, and that is the queen and king of air, and that's your thoughts. Those are thoughts.
Like a sword. Okay.
They're the thoughts.
So there's symbols then.
Yeah. Your fire, like your wands will be your actions that represent. So when you read that, you have to read that with that knowledge too. That the action, the swords will be your thoughts, that are air, and they, I don't think the king and queen of swords are together either. I think that, the king of swords usually is like somebody who cuts deep, and the queen of swords is a real sarcastic, cutting woman who has like a real cutting mouth when she talks.
That's the next one I pulled up. King of Swords.
Yeah, the King of Swords is a wise, but he's wise. He has become mature in his thoughts.
Now, let me ask you a basic question. One of the things I learned is because there's writing on both ends of this card. And it depends which way you draw the card.
Oh, okay. Reverse. There's reverse.
Yeah, there's words this way and this way.
Don't do the reverse. It's supposed to be
which way you drew the card upside. So I wanted to ask you, are you supposed to mix your cards upside down and
don't read them. Don't read them
all the same way.
Don't read them upside. Don't read reverse yet. That is like a person who's skilled at reading that does reverse.
So keep all the cards the same way.
Yeah, it don't matter. Just if you get one that's reversed,
just read it that way.
When you read, just flip it back to right. Okay. I wouldn't try to. Anybody that has is really trying to learn read tarot, you don't want them to try to mess with reverses yet, because it's really. You need to know what your cards mean before you try doing reverses.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's complex. That's like higher level.
That's one of the things we were wondering when I did the stream is which way are we supposed to read this? So that was a little confusing. But again, it just has a handbook. It doesn't have a fancy book with it or anything. So
yes. Now, like your pinnacles, that is your money. Anything with the pinnacles on it or whatever, or discs, it may say discs. I think sometimes some of them say that, but most of the time it's a pinnacle. That is earth energy. That's me right there. I'm a Taurus, so that's me. But that's your pinnacle. That's your finances.
I'm a Virgo.
Okay. You are a air sign. And then the last one is
I got a lot of moons and suns too.
We did fire, water, earth, and air. Like the earth, the king of pentacles is the stable husband, that is just steady as a rock. And the female, the queen of the pentacles is like
queen of pentacles right there.
Perfect homemaker.
We're right in sync. Every time you say something, that's the card I pull up. Yeah. We're right in sync. That's why I think the sage is working.
That's the way tarot goes. That's the way it goes. And in each character, like from your ones are all beginnings. Your aces, the ace of spades. The ace of spades, the ace of water, the ace of earth.
Okay,
I was the beginning of something.
I was wondering what the numbers are. Okay,
that's your starting. All right, ace of wands is fast action coming at you. The ace of pentacles is like a new job. The ace of wands could be even like a new relationship, And then the twos are sort of like when you get together with something and start, balancing everything. The threes are like when you're all happy and threes. And then when you get to the fives, fours are balanced, and then fives are everything's messed up again. What you do is when you go through the deck, you're on a roller coaster. You know
what about ones that don't have a number?
Okay, those are yeah. That's what I was going to say. Those are the most important cards. You like your tower card. You said by go, and the emperor, and you've got.
I've got a page of pentacles that has.
Those are just suits. The pages are beginning or a young person. They also can represent a young person, like an adolescent. If you're reading like for somebody or whatever, they can represent an adolescent too, but they're like beginners and stuff like that, or it's early on.
Your card's pretty good.
Yeah, and then you've got the you got the page, and then you've got the knight, and like the Knight of Wands is like
you just did it again.
Yeah, that's your. I
just pulled it out as you're saying it.
That's the Playboy. That's a Playboy too. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is like a one-night stand man. And so then you've got the Queen. The next that represents the feminine energy in the deck. It don't always represent a female. It can represent the we in Wicca they're considered. Everybody has both energies inside of us. There's a balance in there. But I still have masculine energy, and still, I'm a truck driver, so I exhibit masculine energy on a daily basis. So that's what all of them are. And then the King is like the maturity of it. And what it is after you mature on that, and then you start back over on something else. You start with the ace, the wand, the Ace of Wands again.
What's the difference between a king and an emperor?
The emperor is all the kings. Okay. He is all four kings. He represents all four kings.
Is that why it's got a number 4 too?
Yes, he's balanced. Fours are stability and balance. And the emperor is the most. He is all the four kings. He's a balance of all the best things out of all four kings. But he is a little controlling. He is a little bossy, and he is. He's he likes to be in charge, but he is, that represents, like, if you get that for a reading for like, that means you're going to be taking charge or something. You're going to be in charge of it. And see, they have numbers. If you notice, they have numbers, Roman numerals on them. Okay. And that's where it goes around. And it's the cycle that you go through. Like the Empress is 2. That's actually me, Taurus. That's like the pregnant woman, the mother, the Empress is like the life giver, and the Fool is where everything starts. That's your first card. That's 0. Actually, it's not 1. It's not 1. It's 0. The Fool is 0. The Fool is a leap of faith. Yeah, there's the Fool. That's good for religion right there. The leap of faith is the Fool.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So I got the numbers understood now a little bit.
And the world is your end. The world is be 20, 22, 21. 21 to be your world card.
Can I jump in real quick, guys?
Huh?
Absolutely, it's your show.
There's sometimes a delay on my end, so I didn't want to step all over everybody talking. But just so you know, I'm not dropping the show. I'm just going off stage while you guys are talking. I wasn't like, because I know from your experience of being on my show, sometimes that occurs. But I was just letting you know I'm still here and listening and stuff.
Well,
I'm enjoying the overview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, okay. I think this is all really interesting, and I didn't know any of that. So,
when I'm noticing the cups that you were talking about in some of these.
I haven't been I haven't brushed up on this in a while, and so I'm kind of out of like, you know what I mean? Like I'm having trouble remembering some of the names of things and stuff.
Here's an Ace of Cups. I just pulled
The
that
Ace of
one up.
Cups is a brand new love or a baby. It can also represent a birth, a brand new baby.
Oh Jesus!
It's you know,
Those
I mean,
are two
Cups
totally
is
different
love,
things.
huh? Cups is emotion.
Those are two totally different things.
Well, I know, but every card has several different meanings. I mean, it's like,
Oh right, no, I wasn't
yeah.
giving you shit.
But like that's you know, that's like if you draw the Ace of Cups, you know that probably you're going to meet a new love, or somebody's going to have a baby, or
Well, and if you're doing a 3 card though, it would depend on if it's past, present, or future, right?
yes, but it can represent like several different things too. You know what I mean? Like, and so that depends on where it falls on what it actually represents too.
So let me ask real quick. So whenever you're talking about a 3 card reading, past, present, and future, that's what each card is supposed to represent. And then the meaning of those cards is you try to like fit that to the person, like what that means to them, how it relates to them in some way. And that's kind of the loose.
Yeah, you go left to right, past, present, future. So
it's supposed to represent the energy. You know, it's not always just the truth. It's the cards are supposed to represent the energy, not necessarily the event or something. You know what I mean? But the energy around that. And the thing about it is tarot right readers and stuff like that. They don't believe in that. If I tell you that you drew the death card, that you are going to die. Because you can always alter.
I knew that much.
You can always alter what is coming at you. You know what I mean? All you have to do is change your energy, and that will change the energy that you are getting back. And so there's never a set in stone, this is what's going to happen thing. This is the current energy as it is right now.
Yeah.
Without you adjusting it anyway.
This is the interpretation of the current being.
Yes, the current.
And the energy around you then. So that makes a lot of sense. I think that's really cool.
Yes. So you never have a. Did you say you were a Virgo?
I am a Virgo.
Here's your card, because most every sign has a one of these cards that go, the picture card that goes with them. The Hermit. This is you right here, the Hermit.
That's me, all right.
Virgo.
Which one's
I just saw that card. It reminds me of the wizard on the Led Zeppelin album.
He's carrying a lantern.
Yeah, that's the one that's what's on the Led Zeppelin album.
He's
right?
wise. He's patient. Mine is the Empress. Now, what's your sign? Kentucky Atheist? Cancer. Your card is. See, I'm so well. I can't believe can't even think of this right now. Cancer. Oh my gosh!
And I got my crystals out too.
My card is the Hierophant. My card is the Hierophant, which is a horrible card, or the Empress. The Empress can be that too, but the Hierophant is Taurus. And this is like a preacher, a religious leader.
So most of the cards have both a positive and negative meaning, right? Like there's one like.
Well, they have.
Not necessarily opposites, but they have like a higher and lesser.
They have several different, meanings, and if you read reverses, like if the Virgo, like he's the Hermit. If he was to get the Hermit upside down and he read reverses, that would mean that probably maybe like an unwise something, you know what I mean? Or that there was going to be, because the Hermit is carrying that lantern, he shines light on things. And you know what I mean? So he helps you find secret knowledge and stuff. So upside down, he would be like, keep it, you know what I mean? Like something you couldn't find out about that you were wanting to try to find out that
So from the perspective of the witch here, or the person who believes in tarot readings being true. The idea is that the cards are mixed up and you go through the ritual or whatever, and then it's the person who interprets the energy that they're getting from the cards that are drawn to that person. Is that fair?
Yeah, most time, like if you like when I would do a card reading for somebody other than myself, I would cleanse the cards real good, and most time, I like my friends, I would have them come to my house, and I would let them hold the cards for a little while, like to get some of their energy on them.
Right.
But
well, it seems you and Dave are already drawing the same cards.
But then a lot of like online readers and stuff they'll ask for you and meditation before a reading. Like I always meditated.
Sure.
Being a witch is like nothing but meditation. It's just like so, and I hate meditation. Actually, I just really
let me ask this: when you're doing a tarot reading, is it the cards that are more important, or the person interpreting the cards?
The cards are just a tool. It's the cards are nothing.
Okay.
Cards are
so
cardboard.
It's the
cards
person.
are pieces of cardboard. These are pieces of cardboard. They the energy that is being read it comes through the person. I mean, these are just tools to help you understand what the energy is that's coming out. Does that make sense? It's kind of
Yeah, sure.
We don't have any way of this is our way of interpreting the energy that we're seeing is these cards. They're nothing actually. They're not. There's nothing alive about these cards. They're seen as just cardboard squares. Squares of cardboard.
Well, what I'm saying is that experience affects the quality of the reading that you're getting, and the I guess how perceptive that person is to the energy around whoever they're reading. I mean, that's the idea, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to, be clear that not just every person out there can go flip over a card and because they know what it means, think that there's more to it than that. And
and like you're supposed to meditate before you do it. You're supposed to cleanse everything. You're supposed to sit there and get all you're supposed to do all this like in a sacred space. It's just all that, and you're supposed to calm your mind and everything. But when you read the big, I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, it was hard for me to give up the belief in them because I have seen a lot of really good readings. You know what I mean? Like stuff I told you before. You know what I mean? There's been.
Well, let me ask you this: if I put you and Dave on split screen, can you read Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I can with my cards or his.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, that's why I was going to do a little card, like a deck thing too.
Well, do you want to try that stuff? Because I'm interested.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not trying to put you on the spot, is what I was getting at, I guess.
No, you don't bother me.
So I'm going to remove myself back from the screen here, I think. And see, I wish I could do it from here so that my audio is still on, but I can't. I have to be in it.
Dave, you shuffle your cards too. And I want you to shuffle your cards, hold them for a second, think about it, and then I want you to flip you over 3 cards too for the class. We'll see if we get the same 3 cards. That would be really weird, wouldn't it?
I'm gonna give them a mix, and I got my crystals here too. I'll put my crystals on them just to make sure. So I got.
Yeah, I always kept mine sitting there with crystals, or in the bag. I kept them in the bag.
Yep, I got them right here in the bag, and they are. You can hear them here. See, hear them.
Show us what you got there.
I got all kind of. There's a whole bag of them. I got white ones, black ones, orange ones.
Like clear will be quartz.
Yep, it looks like quartz.
Green will be like I'm just down on all the names right now.
Opal. You got a giant
Now,
opal.
You already see all the ones I have upstairs. I have like this great big, like chalice. It's great big metal chalice, and it's full of like raw, what they call raw. That they've never been tumbled or anything. They're like hard, they're like sharp edges and stuff. I have a bunch of raw ones, and then I have
My wife has a rock tumbler. She's got some polished rocks.
yeah.
High pragmatic crystal. So,
Hey, Crystal.
Are you ready?
What was that? Yeah, I'm going to.
I am mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing. So, all right, I am shuffled, and I'm putting down 3 cards. I got my 3 cards down.
Okay. Me too. What'd you draw for your past?
My past is 3 of Swords.
I got the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is kind of hard. A woman hard, kind of hard to get along with. She's got a big sharp mouth. Let's put it that way. But you got the what now? The 3?
It's the 3 of Swords. It's a
3 of
picture.
Swords
It's a
is
picture of a heart with swords through it.
You don't even want to know what that is. That's like the worst card in the deck, actually. That's like the worst card to get. That is heartbreak. That is just. No, I mean,
I did have a death in the family, and I have been. I even made a video about it because the family tree is dwindling. So
a lot of times death will come up. That there's a card actually called death too.
Well,
it's 13. It's the 13 card.
We got 2 more cards, so we'll see.
Okay, and your present, you got the 4 of Cups.
I got the 4 of Swords.
Okay. The 4 of Swords is rest.
4 of Swords.
After you got the 3, 4. Okay.
3,
the
4.
The 4 of Swords is rest. After the heartbreak, you've got the rest period. You see him laying there, he's resting, he's healing up from his heart being, the 4 of Cups is like, hey, you have an offer from somebody who's kind of interested in you, or a job offer or something, and you're not interested in it. You're kind of just like, eh. You're sitting there kind of looking at it like, I don't think so. But the 4 of Swords is resting, like a resting.
I like that better than the first one.
But it's really, I mean, that in line there, it's healing from the heartache. And I got you the King of Cups is what I drew the last one.
All right, let's see. I got the Ace of Pentacles.
That's good. That's a new job, new something to do with money, something to do with your stability, and it's like a new. And so anything that aces are always pretty good, and Pentacles is like, especially if that's like a new home. Is the Ace of Pentacles a new? I don't think a car is the wands. I think so. It would not be a new car, but like a new home. Ace of Pentacles can sometimes mean that you're going to get an inheritance. Be left an inheritance.
There's not really anybody left. I don't.
There's several. There's several things but the Ace of Pentacles is pretty much always good. Always.
My mother,
new fortune coming in.
My mother left a last laugh on the credit card company that was stiffing her with all kind of fees and everything, and she just couldn't never get ahead on that one card she got. But when she passed away, they didn't get a dime. So she had the last laugh on them, I guess.
Yeah, our legislators, have failed us miserably by allowing.
Well, she never told me about it, and if I'd have known about it, I'd have took care of it. But she was a little embarrassed, I think, that she signed up for one of those crappy credit cards.
Well, I mean, but the legislators shouldn't allow places like that to exploit us. I mean, they don't serve us; they serve them people. And I mean, they don't have to let them name them high fees and stuff like that. They don't have to do that. They can say, no, you're not going to have our market. I mean, everybody acts like we have to give them all that stuff, and we don't. We are the market. We are the benefit they get out of being on our market. And we should be telling them what the rules are going to be, not the other way around.
Yeah, when I gave my mother's eulogy, I told everybody, all the grandkids and everything, I said, if you're expecting an inheritance, you already got it. So
I tell my mom,
she gave it while my mother gave it all while she was alive. So
I tell my mom and dad to spend all theirs anyway. I ain't worried about it.
Yep.
I've been broke most of my life. I'm used to it now. I don't know how.
Can't miss what you never had, right?
Well, if I had a bunch of money, I would probably spend it all real quick so I could be broke again. You know what I mean?
I have to come back
broke on another level.
Part.
Broke on another level. I heard before that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to put these together.
Okay.
What I see here. You say you're married, right?
Yes.
Happily?
Most days.
Well, I'm gonna go with her then.
34 years.
You may be getting some kind of information from this Queen of Swords that is sort of not bad, but it's not, it's challenging information. Challenging. Or you did. This is your past card. So, you receive some challenging information or some cutting words. And you sit around maybe and thought about this for a little while and what to do about it, and whether, I don't know, could be even a job or something. But that usually the Queen of Swords don't have nothing to do with a job. But this is some kind of offer that you refused. That's right now. That's your present. You got a current something you're refusing, like to be interested in, like a job or, I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. It's just kind of a person who's just not really into nothing. You know what I mean? Just kind of just like that. You kind of got the blahs, pretty much what the Four Cups is.
The weather gives me the blahs because I like to be out with the pond. But
and then the King of Cups is like emotional maturity. This could mean like that you're getting married, or if you're already married, you could be becoming a dad or a grandfather.
That wouldn't be anytime soon because
it could represent.
Neither one of my boys have shown any interest in having kids yet. So
it can represent also too a loving relationship. A period in your life where you and your partner are connected well, and and loving on each other. Not necessarily the sex, because that would be the King of Wands, but this would be more like being emotionally supportive for each other. Does that sound like resonate at all with you? Any of that?
Well, I have been married for a long time, and we have our ups and downs, but most of the time, most of the time we're still lovey-dovey. There won't inheritance. I'll say my family tree is dwindling. I made a video talking about it it hit me hard because the neighbor lost his wife and I lost my uncle within a couple of days. So it was 2 funerals in 1 week, and it was really hitting me hard. And yeah, I'm one of the few on my side of the tree that's left. And let's say my boys had 0 interest in having kids so far. So it's very sobering.
And
But
the thing about tarot reading is that even though we read that like it was your cards, according to what tarot is, that could be anybody in your life that you're around their energy, that you are carrying their energy around.
Trying to think of what I would be refusing. That's the tough one.
I mean, that could be somebody else too. It doesn't necessarily always have to read you. It will pick up energy that you have in your life, supposedly. So sometimes it can be like someone close to you that's their energy that's coming through.
Well, I did taint my karma a little bit. There's a neighbor I had issues with, and I don't have well wishes towards them. And I was reading Sadhguru's book, and as soon as it started, it said, "You're not supposed to do that. It messes up your karma." And I'm like, "Oh man."
Well, see, I'm not. I kind of always used to believe in karma. In fact, I still see karma sometimes. Even though I know it's probably not a real thing, but I have seen it work. I've seen it instantly work before, actually, and be like, ha. But
I use karma as like a soul. Karma is who you are. So.
But I do believe
everything that makes you you. So if you're a crappy person, you're a crappy person. But you can change that karma by not being a crappy person anymore. So
karma is not always bad too. Karma, like karmic things are, you can get good karma too. Like if you subscribe to that, that.
Well,
good karma would be letting things roll off. So I have days where I have good karma where I let things roll off. And then I have days where I let little things bother me, and I shouldn't, because I can let the same things roll off on another day. But some days I'm out of sync with the planets or something, and the little things can set me off. And that
feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm stumped on I'm really stumped on what or who.
And you're a Virgo, which means you are sort of
troublemaker.
Well, you're like a hermit. You're sort of a hermit. You kind of keep things to yourself. You're sort of, not secretive, but just kind of like you don't let everybody like out in the light. You don't stick everything out, which I think people talk about astronomy. I think it matches up pretty good, actually. I'm a Taurus. I'm a big mouth, hot-headed. I match up everything with Taurus, actually, except for most Tauruses are.
I got some Taurus in me.
Most Tauruses are good with money. Yeah, you have almost every sign usually in your moon or your sun or something like that. But most Tauruses are good with money, and I'm not good with money. I fail at that. But I fit Taurus, everything else. But my sister her birthday is the next day after mine, and she has no Taurus. She is absolutely as un-Taurus like as there is. So I got all the Taurus, I guess.
The only thing in the past would have been the lawsuit where I refused to accept the stupid settlement, but then I accepted. Well, they had to accept, and because I won out on the settlement, so even on a stretch, I couldn't even say that because I ended up winning out on the deal. I didn't. It wasn't a refusal; it was more of a refusal of. No, I'm not going to agree to some nonsense. I'm in the right. So.
Well, see, a good reading for you, a really good true reading. If I was a person who was really meaning to read for you, I would have to know your birthday, and I would have to have your birthday in your name. And and sit and
Yeah,
meditate.
let me point
With
out to
my,
those watching.
and those are my cards.
These
I would
two
have to
just
sit and
met
meditate.
formally today, so there's not.
This is a learning curve here. We're just kind of doing a
I mean, if I wanted to try to do it right, and I thought I was doing right, I would spend far more time becoming. I would meditate on your energy and everything. You know what I mean? That would, and you know, that should in a reading. By the way, they teach you that should increase the accuracy of the reading. And those are my cards that I've read myself with. Those.
All right. Well, let's
other people with them.
Let's try this. Let's draw. Let me draw the cards, and then you can do Kentucky here, and see what it says. What by what my cards say, so I can kind of get an idea of how to do it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
I'll deal them out, and then you be my mouthpiece, and then I'll understand it as.
And you can take them. You can also, one of the ways you can do it is you can actually spread them like this, like fan them out, and then pick 3 cards out of them.
Okay,
that's a good. That's like one of
the captive desk doesn't have a lot of room on it.
But, okay. A lot of people like doing that.
When I did my stream, I cleaned out. I've got an L desk, so I cleared off the side desk, but it's usually my laptop's over there. So, but I'm gonna mix these up really good. All right, and I'm gonna even cut the deck. All right, KA, you're cutting the deck. All right,
I got you.
I feel your energy cutting the deck. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put down your cards. All right, your past card is the 6 of Pentacles. Oops, I'm going the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 of Pentacles. Got that, Robin?
Yes, 6 of Pentacles.
6 of Pentacles, and it's a number 6.
I mean, you're going to do it.
That's Kentucky's. That's Kentucky's past. So, what would that tell you about Kentucky's past?
Well, go ahead and lay the other 2 out.
Okay. All right. The present, we've got the 4 of Wands. Or wait, the 9. Excuse me, the 9 of Wands.
That's right. And that's me right there.
Got the 9. Got the big 9 there, buddy.
The 9 of Wands. That's what they call me.
The 9 of Wands is he's the soldier that is wounded. But you see, he's still in the fight. I mean, he's wounded warrior. That's what the 9 of Wands is. The wounded warrior.
Okay, and then your future is the 4 of Cups.
Oh, okay.
It's the same one he had. That's kind of like the.
Oh well. That kind of sounds like my
your future is
yeah.
That's kind of like maybe a job offer you ain't too crazy about, or you know what I mean,
yeah.
you're just not like really thrilled about what's going on. And
so now with all 3, what can we say about the first card?
I'm looking up the 6 of Pentacles because I'm having trouble remembering what it is. Oh, the 6 of Pentacles is charity and like the 6 of Pentacles, charity, generosity, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, prosperity. And it don't necessarily mean you. It could mean that somebody's going to share with you. But it usually represents like the helping the poor or something like that, or
that's what it says on my card. It says, you're upright, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity, sharing. So
so in my past, I was a drug addict and homeless at one point, and had a lot of help from others to get back on my feet and try and repair the damage that I had done. And if it wasn't for the help of others, I don't know. I wouldn't be doing this right now for sure. So,
that's right.
You might.
So maybe that's an accurate reading there for the first card, anyway.
You have an amazing story. An amazing.
Well,
you do.
It's whenever you get into the details of it, some of it's interesting.
Well, not too many people come out of that world alive.
Right. Yeah. I know more dead people than I do alive people now. I could probably, off the top of my head, without really getting too deep into it, I could probably name 30 of my friends that are dead now in just the last few years. And so, yeah, it's, but, the way I look at that is don't, please do not pity me or feel bad for me. That was a learning experience. I know. But that was a learning experience, and I got a lot from that. Even if I'm not wealthy in a monetary sense, I feel like the experience, the things I learned along the way, the people I met, and the things that I did and learned valuable lessons from are some of the most important parts of my life. So,
I don't pity you. You lived.
So would that fall in with?
So that's one thing you got real lucky right there.
Would that fall in with him balancing out?
Yeah.
Balancing out the past.
That's his past card?
That's his past card. It's got a balance on it.
It could be where he was sharing all them steaks with everybody. No. They would probably say like he got a helping hand at one time, and I'd say like your sister, right?
Yeah,
your sister reached out and helped, and I mean,
yeah. My sister, for everybody that doesn't know, my sister, and I think due to her experiences with me, became a Suboxone doctor and ran a recovery clinic. And I didn't go to her, but she helped me. She paid for me to initially get in recovery, and that's what led me to get clean. And so, yeah, definitely, my sister was a big influence and a big help.
Okay, what was the second card?
Second card was the 9 of Wands, which is
9 of Wands,
courage, persistence, test of faith. There you go.
Wounded warrior.
Oh,
that's the wounded warrior, but he's still in the battle. You see his
last stand.
Hold the picture up there. Can you see the card? He's got a wrapper. He's got like a bandage around his head. I mean, he's got all these wands out in the field and stuff, and he's been in the battle for a long time, and he's got this bandage on his head, so he's got wounds, but he's still standing. He's still standing.
Well, I had heart surgery a couple years ago, and I'm still here.
Yep. I mean, it's an embattled, wounded warrior is what it. I mean, it's like persistence, like he said, hanging in there.
Yeah.
Not giving up.
You seem to be hanging in there, brother. So
yeah.
We'll give the middle card a hit.
Yeah, I'm still actually recuperating from some of that, and it was 2 years ago. So definitely feel like that applies.
But then the future, Robin said was
Well, maybe that's good.
You got
with
the wishy-washy. You got what was it? The 4 of Cups.
Yeah.
Which is meditation, contemplation, apathy, revelation, or re-evaluation.
That's better.
Regret.
And sorry, these old eyes and this little
refusing
print. It's starting to get to me.
You could be getting a job offer and you refuse it.
Boredom. Disconnected is the last thing.
Yeah, well, that doesn't sound good for a YouTube
This is also a maybe card. It says maybe on it.
Huh.
Some say yes, some say no, and this is a maybe card.
So maybe if you're drawing the cards while asking
questions, right here it says maybe.
Okay, because you can do what they call yes, no.
I wanted to ask you about
cards, that. 1 card draws or whatever. Like, am I going to get this job? And you go through there and you pick a card. And
so you can do a 1 draw,
or maybe.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you've got like all the fire cards and the I want to say, let's see, fire cards are yes cards, and then like the suit, the major major cards are some of them are no's and some of them are yeses. Like you've got the minor arcana and the major arcana. The major arcana are the full through the world, and then your minor arcana are the numbered and suit, like person cards.
That's the first thing in my book.
Yeah.
So I want to point out something that Tobin said here. Although there is woo attached to tarot cards, they are good. They make for good conversation. Yeah, and I agree completely because look, even though I don't believe there was any supernatural activity in drawing these cards, I don't believe I could send any energy through the internet to Dave to draw the cards and then somehow have Robin interpret that. I don't think any of that. But at the same time, it made me reflect on those things in my past, talk about those parts of my story. And that's a good thing, isn't it? I mean, as long as I'm not going and taking somebody's money and telling them that I'm going to tell them their future with these cards, I think that it is a cool thing and a good conversation piece. And especially if you don't know people real well, doing something like this would be a great way to get to know someone.
It's a good meditation. I think meditation is like you don't have to be woo. You know what I mean? I think that it does.
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I really never did like it much, but it was beneficial when I did it.
Yeah, oh, there's definitely benefit to clearing your mind and letting go of stress and everything around you and trying to take control of your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. And I think meditation does that and allows you time to really critically think about some things depending on how you're doing your meditation. But
I did the tarot cards because I couldn't stand sitting. I would fall asleep sitting on my stool.
And I told people during my stream, if witchcraft involves these great smelling herbal candles, I'm all for it because
right.
These things smell so good.
Everything's herb. Everything is herb. Yes, somebody's mixed the herb, melted them up in there because they're intention candle. What herb do you have?
I'm not sure what it is, but it smells wonderful.
Because every herb has its own intention.
There's my herb.
It looks like green quartz or something.
Oh, that green quartz is a crystal.
Yeah, it looks like it might be. It almost looks like rock candy in there.
Yeah, that's a crystal.
That's cool.
Green quartz.
So there's some kind of value to burning a candle that has crystals infused.
It smells great, though. Let me tell you what.
All right. Then we're going to do a spell. I'm going to do a spell. I'm going to do a spell to try to get Kentucky Atheist 1,000 subscribers by how many you got right now?
552, 51.
I mean, is it that the number you want to shoot for?
Yeah, sure. Let's. I'm all for that.
Okay, 1,000 subscribers by the next lunar cycle because that's how spells work from lunar cycle to lunar cycle. We are in a full moon energy right now, which is like the best time to cast a spell. I mean, this is like the best time.
I'll tell you what. You do the spell, and I will do the work and produce more quality content.
That's the way magic works. You have to do the magic and the mundane together.
Yeah.
To get it. I mean, magic doesn't just give you stuff for free.
If you worked against what was like if you did a spell and then you actively worked against it to prevent it from becoming a realization, then you're kind of that's kind of a weird way to approach anything anyway, right? So yeah, definitely. But I will go a step further and put positive work into actually getting to that point. And we'll try. What do we got? A full moon was last week, so we probably got about 25 days, something like that.
We're still in the full moon energy right now. You got 4 days.
So we got about a month.
Night before last was the blood moon. Was the full moon.
So we got about a month, 5 weeks maybe.
Yeah, about 28 days, probably something like that. Lunar, 28 days,
So
That
So
you
everybody
should,
like and subscribe because we're getting to 1,000 by the next
yes.
full moon.
But that's how magic is even taught. That
Yeah.
when you put what you're doing is you're not really causing something to happen. You're putting that intention and that energy into the universe, and it will like if you do a job find a new job, you have to go out and still put in applications. You know what I mean? You can't just sit at home and wait for the job to call you. but it will supposedly it will help you get a job. You know what I mean?
So let me point out something real quick, because whenever we're talking about this energy and there is some like woo involved, the thing is though is how this differs somewhat from what we see as mainstream religions and things, is that if you just have intention and think positive thoughts towards or negative towards whatever you're trying to do and it doesn't occur, so what? You haven't dragged everybody else in and made them believe that you're the one that can do those things. And if it does, great, and it's not causing harm or straight out lying to people or things like that. It's hey, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna put some energy into it and think about it and hope you do well. And if you try to achieve this, maybe you can do it. And I see where that would possibly have positive outcomes. Not always, but there's just by doing that simple thing, you're increasing the likelihood. Now,
positive thoughts.
I will say, if you were doing this like somebody was sick and you're trying to make them better, which I actually talked on the chat with Purple about a minute ago, who doesn't feel well. But if you were actually doing something like that, I wonder if the stats would suggest that this is like prayer. Because if someone knows you're praying for them, it actually causes them to do worse, or to take longer to get better.
A lot of spells read like prayers. They're may you get better, may the whatever forces help you get better.
Yeah, but also we're not praying. We're not praying to a deity for these things.
The Bible.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, the Jewish people believed in magic, and the rituals and stuff are full of spells.
Oh, full of it.
Ceremonial
they do all kinds of burning things and
ceremonial
and
magic
sacrifice.
is completely Hebrew stuff and like certain things out of the rituals. One of the biggest things you can do to cleanse negative energy from your life is to do like you do a bath and you get into a salt bath and you get in there and you read Psalms, and that, like you was talking about the demons, that should eliminate any demons from your life. You can tell your little friend, if he's really scared of demons, that he can do, I can give him a 7-day cleanse bath, where he gets in the tub, he has to step through 2 candles, get in there, it has to have salt in it, and it has to have
what's the deal with salt? Like,
salt is cleansing. It absorbs negative energy.
Well, what I'm saying is, in all of these witchcraft, voodoo type things, salt is this powerful item that has it's a tool that's used often. And I just wonder if there's some lore behind that of why it's salt.
It absorbs negative energies. It absorbs,
right.
It takes all negativity out and cleanses it. It actually, salt is sort of like a.
So let me suggest something. Let me suggest something.
Cleanses it and releases it.
In history, people have used salt to cure meats and to store items and to keep them fresh, to preserve things. So salt is always used in this protective type deal here, and it's preserving. So maybe that has, I'm not saying that's a fact because I don't know this, but I'm saying maybe that has some reason to relate of why salt was picked up and used in this stuff as that thing. It's just, I just think that's interesting as all.
Witches will put it in their window sills.
Yeah.
To keep, like, if they, like negative energies from being able to come in their home. It's supposed to also protect you from like burglars and stuff too. You know,
I bet they thought the rot and bacteria that got to their food was the same as the negative energies, and that's why salt is. They think that it keeps out those things. I bet anything that's why.
And circles.
If anybody sees this, please tell me.
The Wiccan witches especially will make a salt circle when they do their magic.
Yeah,
they will actually do their spell inside a salt circle. That keeps, because when the belief is when you get in there and you start doing the ritual of magic, you know, when you're actually doing that you are opening a portal sort of towards negative other energies, you know, that that could come in, because you know you've got that portal sort of open. Then you know,
so you're taking a risk.
Something could come into your space and you know, and mess with your magic, or even, you know, cause harm to you, or get out and stay in your, you know, your house or something. You know, that's what they believe.
So that's just a precaution while you're taking that risk.
That circle while you're doing your magic, while you're actually working with, you know, the magical realm, then that keeps you safe from anything that you can't see that's in that realm.
Yeah. And if you don't do your spells right, you can cause bad things or unexpected things to happen too, because it has, and some of them, one of the stories we were covering, they believe that vampires or these demons happen because a Taoist priest did a ritual wrong, said a wrong word, did a right wrong, and you know, a ritual type right, and that is what summoned the evil spirit when it was supposed to be a cleansing thing.
Well, see, and would you say a werewolf or a vampire?
Vampires.
And so vampires. So these people believe in
vampires. They're demonic. They're demonic. Yeah.
Vampires. Okay.
Oh, let me tell you what. We have to revisit vampires on our channel, because vampire stories around the country, around the world are aplenty.
Oh, I know.
They are.
It's interesting.
They are one of the most widespread common beasties is bloodsuckers. Yeah. Yeah,
and there's a lot of I don't want to say history, but legend that goes into what happened, because in history there are real people that then go off and branch off into this legendary status where, and some of it, I mean, you know, of course you have to approach it from a skeptical point of view, but there's definitely some interesting stuff there that you can see people really tried to reason through and make sense of, and came up with these vampires and such. But
I think Trees had one of the best words in the show, is that people made up these monsters because they couldn't believe a human being would do something horrific to another human being.
That's what I always say. I say that, and Trees has a great way with words too there. But that's what I say something similar, because I think that man sees that they lack in some areas. There's ways to improve and do better. And I think that they imagine, since they can imagine themselves or others being better in all those things, they can imagine a perfect being, and they can imagine, you know, because when they didn't have answers to these things, and all there was to do at night was sit and stare at the sky, they tried to assign meanings to things that they didn't know, and used what they did know to come up with those. And if it fit and it there was no problem, they followed it, and others followed it, and it, you know, it's neat how these things grow, and even going into the vampires and stuff, how that spread and how that lore and everything is there. It's such an interesting subject.
We love to scare ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another thing. You know, that endorphin rush.
Storytelling. I love storytelling.
Yeah. That is what I mean. Oral history, oral tradition of storytelling is one of the most important things to so many cultures. Because like I said, once the sun went down, what was there to do? I mean, you could build a fire, but you couldn't just, you know, nobody's just building big fires all night. They stared at the sky and they thought about these things, and it makes sense. And it's so interesting to look at how it's woven in to everything now. Like, all of these things are connected. Christianity doesn't stand on its own. It even has aspects of this stuff in it. Just like we said, there's all kinds of spells and witchcraft in the Bible. There's all of these things are woven together because of our attempt to understand the world and our place in it. And it's
curing leprosy is a spell in the Bible. You do
right.
a blood thing, and then you release a bird, something like that. And
I mean, look at the
it
Catholic
reads
Church.
it reads just like any other spell would.
There's a lot of spells in the Bible. A lot.
Look at the Catholic Church. Even something as simple as Mass. How many rituals do they go through before it even really gets going? And all of these things have a history and a reason why they are the way they are. And when you look at it, you will find roots in Celtic witchcraft and in books like Gilgamesh. You find all these things that people thought were true, and they brought it all together into one story. That seems to be the case with most, religion.
I wanted to ask Robin to touch a bit about witchcraft too, as far as healing goes, because a lot of witchcraft was early simple medicine. I'm not saying it's medicine. In no way is this medical or in any way, shape, or form. This was way long ago, as K.A. said, trying to understand things. And what they found out was some things do settle your stomach. Some things do relieve a headache.
Yeah, they're bound to stumble upon these things in the world,
Until the Christians, the Christians turned the witch into something bad. And that was just a thing so they could take single women's stuff from them, is what that amounts to. I mean, they wanted to confiscate and steal everything that single woman had.
What's the movie?
The church said she was a witch, but the witch back in the day was the medicine lady. I mean, that's where you took the child.
Right.
And some of these things, they do know the herbs, what the herbs are good for. A lot of stuff. I mean, you're not going to heal cancer with it. But, there's salves and tinctures and oils and stuff like that they can for bug bites and wounds and burns and things. And they are the women that knew that carried down that. And, that the Book of Shadows, what's called, what's your book? Most of these, for a long time, these people were not literate. I mean, and then they wouldn't have wanted to write it down anyway, because you would have been, you could be killed for having this stuff for the church. And so these were traditions that were handed down orally over, years, and have survived for thousands of years with actually one of the very first people to write something down was Aleister Crowley. And that's why he was considered they call him a warlock, because that's an oath breaker. And Crowley went and wrote down a bunch of stuff that you're not supposed to share with other people. You're not supposed to share that with other people. The witches, most time you inherited being a witch, you ended up, somehow you ended up being taught by a witch just by the chance of either birth or something. You didn't just say, I want to be a witch and go find a place to be a witch at. And, but you were handed down
no Hogwarts to go to.
No, you were handed down you were handed down sacred knowledge, of things like that. But that is where you could go get your child. If your child had just certain things like a burn or something. And a lot of times the witches were the midwives and things too. Because they were. A witch is a wise person, is really what it is. It is nothing to do with magic. It's a wise person, male and or female, whichever one. But most time it's females. Now Wicca, does both of them now, but it was pretty much traditionally a female thing because they used cooking. You can do witchcraft with cooking. You put intentions into your suppers and you make your stews and things
there's
like that.
there's a lot of putting different herbs into teas or your food or
You
stuff
put
like
your
that
intention
too.
in it as you're stirring your herb in. You think about your intention. I mean, that's all sympathetic magic, but that's
I
called
took a
sympathetic
class
magic.
in college
Well,
called
that's
Medical Herbs of Ohio, and we went out in the woods and picked different herbs and stuff and talked about what they do and how they were used and how some of them could cure headaches and make you feel euphoric, help you sleep, whatever your ailment was. And all of these things are from that, because they did the trial and error in history and figured out, what they could eat, what they couldn't eat, and what did what and what didn't. And
cheers to all our ancestors that ate something that killed them, so we knew better.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So the
And
Hebrew temple, like the early on in the Jerusalem temple,
right.
They
Are you talking about Solomon's temple or
in Jerusalem?
that's not
Yeah,
Hebrew.
the temple.
Yeah, that's Hebrew.
They used him like marijuana, and the reason why they got rid of it because there was a lot of female goddesses back then that they they were still worshiping some like the moon goddess and stuff, and the Jewish leaders wanted to get rid of the females out of the temple. They didn't want no females in there, and so that's one reason why they banned marijuana.
It is odd how in history we have female goddesses and things all through it, and some of the most powerful gods were female. And as we get into Christianity and stuff, Mormonism, things like that, females aren't even supposed to speak. Like
that was pretty
it's
much
odd they went that direction with
patriarchy religions. I mean, like in the pagan world, there wasn't a patriarchy like that. I mean, the male probably was a little bit dominant, but the woman had certain things too. She had the wisdom, and she was the life giver, and she was more on equal footing. And the introduction of the patriarchal religions is what destroyed women. We let them just take everything we had away from us. Just like we don't even realize what we were back then. We don't realize that there actually were civilizations where women were in charge. Like in a lot of them, the women, like a lot of Native culture, Native American, the tribal leader would be a male, but the people that decided who was going to be the chief or whatever, the election would be female. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but then they would nominate and elect the person that would be the chief.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I like whenever people try to say that their God is a female and stirs up everybody, all the female hating religions.
I always call God the moon goddess. There's Hecate. But then just the empress, the moon goddess.
I'm actually surprised the Bible isn't more racist than it is. But it definitely focuses on singling out women and oppressing women. For sure.
Sexist?
Yeah.
Well, it's like keep the young virgins for yourself, and women are not.
Women were property. How much lower can you?
And they still are over there. And they still wearing bags on their heads.
And that is very clear. That is very clear. The Bible's not really clear on a lot of things, but some things it says specifically. Women are property that can be bought and sold.
Yes.
That's why a lot of witches worship. What was Adam's first wife supposed to be?
Lilith.
Lilith is the one of the goddesses, the most popular goddesses too. Yeah, because we're like giving Adam the finger.
Some say she was turned into a black cat. I've stumbled across that when I did my black cat video.
She's sort of the moon, like moon. The black cat. Oh,
I did a black cat video.
I didn't know that. I thought that Bass was the black cat. Based.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stories, but one of them that I'm pretty sure it was Lilith, that she was punished by being turned into a cat.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's correct.
she wouldn't submit to
She
Adam.
said, "I'd still rather be a cat than be with Adam."
Lilith wouldn't submit. The joke is always Lilith wanted to be on top.
Or maybe she didn't want to mess with her sons. Maybe she might have sex with her kids.
She's a symbol of for powerful or empowering women. A lot of the women liked it because
Like
Lilith stood up to Yahweh and Adam and said, "Oh heck no."
Yeah.
The it's and just like that, even with Christianity, witchcraft is woven in all the way back to the very beginning, even. And one of the first things mentioned, of course, it says all witches shall die, but
that's how it's not set for a witch to live.
Right. Yeah.
Which was all just steal the woman's stuff. That's all that amounted to. The church just confiscated every single woman. They would have her accused of witchcraft, and they took. They took her lot of property away from her, and the church inherited it because they were. That's how they got their gold floors and shit in the Vatican, is from stealing off of everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Witches were somebody else to blame again. If your child unexpectedly got some illness and passed away, it wasn't a normal thing, so it had to be a witch putting a spell on or something, or a demon or a monster. All the different monster stories of stealing the breath away, a lot of these things stem back to they just couldn't explain why this person was fine, and then they just died.
It had to be scary. We take for granted now how much knowledge we have, and what it would have been like to not know. Just imagine back before we even developed language and stuff, what it was like to be sitting out there and and just not know what
Newton said he stood on the shoulders of giants, and I think that's a perfect explanation for the information from history to modern times. We've stood on the shoulders of others who have discovered things to then add to that, and it's really our ability to keep track of those things that we've learned that has led us to where we are now. So definitely the way information is so readily available today is a big part of who we all are, and we couldn't imagine a time, even though we lived it as children, that we didn't have those things.
Yes, but I really believe that there was a time, back when civilization was pretty advanced technology wise, before Christianity. We found out a whole lot of stuff that the Romans and Greeks knew is technology wise that we didn't even know they knew. It was like they had some and we lost all the knowledge. All that knowledge was destroyed by the Christians in the dark, when the dark ages.
Right. They destroyed every trace of whole civilizations to build their empire on the bones of others.
Because don't think they wouldn't do it again.
Definitely.
I really think they would. And it's not that far fetched that if they gotten enough power that they could. They could take away
Speaker of the House is a Christian nationalist.
Yes,
I'm getting ready to do a video on him.
Wants God's rule. Oh man!
Mass shootings are blamed on no-fault divorces.
My next video will be on
teaching evolution. Yep, and teaching evolution. He was Ken Ham's attorney. He was Ken Ham's attorney.
Yeah,
I was like, oh no,
Trump's attorney.
Ken Ham's attorney is Speaker of the House. I'm crestfallen.
Right.
They are going to find the grossest person in their run.
Terrible. He is so terrible. Oh man.
It was like, can you get any worse than Kevin McCarthy? Yes. Hold my beer. Hold my Kool-Aid. That's what they say. Hold my Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I can do.
We
Yeah,
got
I
to quit
I
asking
actually think
people,
that-
how stupid can you be? They're taking it as a challenge.
I actually am kind of thinking maybe the Democrats should have helped keep McCarthy in office. I mean, I know they were like making a
In
point,
comparison,
and they were standing up. They were standing up for a principle.
Well,
But,
I think they
Kevin
wanted
McCarthy
to.
was.
I think though this is all because there's going to be a honeymoon period here where they don't go too hard on him and he does a few little things and nothing big happens. But here in a couple weeks, shit's going to hit the fan. And
I mean,
he already said it. Now listen. I said I was going to do a video on this, so I've researched it a little bit. He's already stated that he plans to make use the Bible and instate it as law. He said that's exactly where all the bills are
above the law. Yeah,
he doesn't have any power. He has his house.
Oh no, they'll pass it,
and it goes and sits over in the Senate, and it dies. And so even if it was to pass the Senate, Biden will say veto, veto, veto.
Let me explain something. So the Republicans know that they can pass these bills and they're not going to make it to the Senate because the Senate's not even going to entertain this bullshit. They're not even going to look at it. So, but here's the plan. So what Republicans are trying to do is trying to get a majority in the House and the Senate, which they have the House, so that if they can get President Trump in office, he becomes a king. Because Trump, don't be confused, Trump is absolutely running the Republican Party right now. They are doing his bidding every day of the week. And that's I mean, not all. No, it's never all. I never.
But the big donors like Coke and stuff, they hate him, and the federal society lawyers, they hate him.
Well,
they want him to go away so bad. It's not going to kill him.
I don't see where he's gained any voters since the last time.
No.
So if it's a repeat of last time, he's not going to do better. He's going to do worse.
No.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's even going to run. They're not going to put him on the ballot.
I think their plan is stupid because I think that they are crazy, and I think they don't realize that how many people know they're crazy. And I think that when the next election, they're going to get their ass handed to them, and they're going to get spanked for the way they acted.
One of the Republicans at the convention got up there and said, he can't win. We know he can't win. It's already proven he can't.
It's not just him though. They all deserve to get spanked.
They booed him off the stage. So
yeah,
he's going to say he didn't win. The
string they go,
because of this conspiracy.
Out. Yeah, and then Gen Z hates them because they won't address climate change. They won't do nothing about mass shootings. I mean, Gen Z hates them. Just hates them, and they don't want abortion.
That's your Speaker of the House. He's a young Earth creationist, and he believes that we should burn up all them fossil fuels because God gave them to us to use up.
Yeah, but he's not going to. He can think all he wants. He's gone. I mean, I really predict they're going to get such a whopping. And they've done it to themselves, and they deserve it. It's like, what was it? Charlie Sykes said they just pissed all in their bed.
Let me state something here.
And then they said, we can't sleep in that. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're going to sleep in it, buddy.
Let me state something here. They just made one of Ken Ham's AIG's sidekicks, young Earth creationist, Republican. They just made him third in line for the presidency.
Well, I mean,
that's what this means.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's not just that he's, one of these crazy MAGA people that's for Trump and all this. It's not just that. They've actually promoted him to a position of power. And this is a serious thing. I mean, like, even though they're not going to accomplish nothing and they're just going to make fools of themselves all over the TV once again, probably even worse, I imagine.
You heard what Trump said. If reelected, he's going to pass immigration laws to keep people out that don't share our religion.
It's not going to be really.
Yeah.
That's who he's talking to.
The Federalist Society that gave him all. Federalist Society is pretty much the guiding people of this anyway. You know what I mean? Lewis Powell back when he started his day. I mean, federal society.
If there's a shadow government, it's them.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And they are ready. I mean, they want him out. I mean, he is the monster that they all created. Mitch McConnell. I mean, Mitch is my senator. I sent Mitch a letter. I'm like, you created this Frankenstein, and now you can't do anything with him. You know what I mean? They turned on him for him. So, yes, I'm expecting a rout,
Yeah.
just a thorough spanking for them,
Yeah.
and maybe they'll rethink their crazy shit. You know what I mean? That's what they need.
Well,
They need
that's
to
how.
think
That's
reality.
how. So that's how you do. I mean, this is the same approach that creators use towards atheist activism. I mean, we expose these things and show how silly and absurd they are, and point out the corruption that takes place in the name of these things, and hopefully people see that and don't want any part of it. And politics has 100% adopted the techniques of religion for getting people, and uh, you know. Uh, exposing the harm and the absurdity of the things that take place is how you get the word to people to not support these things and to see what's really going on. Because most people don't watch C-SPAN. They don't know who Jared Moskowitz is, or
I love
they don't.
Jared Moskowitz.
They have no idea why it even matters who Speaker of the House is. But so by getting this information out there and doing what you can to spread it, I mean, I've got 4 people watching. Maybe one of those 4 people will take something we said, say it to someone else, and it'll make someone realize something they didn't before. And so that's how you fight these things peacefully, is by exposing them.
Yes, Moskowitz, when he did his little skit about the gas stove, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was great.
I almost laid in the floor.
Yeah.
Not the gas stoves. Oh, they're gonna take away your gas stoves.
Make what was it? Make gas stoves great again, or something like. Remember, it's make appliances great again. Make appliances.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it was.
He said he wanted to put a statue of a double burner stove in Statuary Hall.
Yes, yeah, made out of titanium or something like that.
He said that in a live committee meeting. That was funnier than hell.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So and that's it. Whenever his technique of exposing these things with a little bit of humor and stuff, that gets to people that sometimes raw information doesn't. And that's what it's all about. I mean, tell the truth about things and show what it really is. That transparency that's there is what allows people to know what's really going on, because otherwise they don't do the digging and the research and everything to figure that out.
No, they clip, like Fox clips everything, like makes it twisted around. Like Moskowitz, it must be so fun to sit in the House of Representatives and have the other side sitting there listening to you, and you're just openly mocking them, just trolling them. You know what I mean?
Well, he openly admits his whole deal is he wants to embarrass James Comer till he quits. Yeah,
he's from Kentucky too. He's an embarrassment too.
Yeah, how you doing, James? But
they're worth crap.
Take Marjorie Taylor Greene for example. Now everybody can say all
please
things
take her. Somebody, please.
But every day she gets on Twitter and on TV and posts things that are absolutely demonstrably false.
She's crazy.
And she knows it. But she also knows that a lot of people are going to read these things and not look into it and just assume that she's telling the truth. And that's what they rely on. They don't care if it's a lie, because they can say it and know that a majority of people don't give a shit. They're just going to say, well, she said it. It must be true. She's a congresswoman, And that's batshit crazy too. So along with her,
I just can imagine what our founding fathers would think if they went into the House of Representatives, like Benjamin Franklin and John Adams walked into the House of Representatives and first saw Lauren Boebert took 4 times to pass her GED, and then crazy Jewish space lady, and George Santos, and I mean, I can just imagine what you're not supposed to be electing these kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, even if you didn't agree with the other party, we always respected people in Congress because they had some bit of wisdom, and they were, even if you didn't agree with them, they were honest about their attempt to make the government a better thing. And that's just not the case now. They start campaigning from the
Do
second they're
something.
elected.
Yeah.
And that's all they do is, I want to talk shit about the Democrats and trash them, and I want to run for election the whole time I'm elected because all I want is to stay in power.
Yeah.
And that's all they want.
That's
Someone
exactly
like MTG, they haven't done anything. They haven't passed anything.
No.
Their
Right.
career is a big zero.
No.
It's just
Neither
running
is
their
my
mouth
dog,
and
by the
causing
way.
trouble. That's it. They do nothing for their constituents. Now,
what they don't
yeah,
accept is that
you can
this is
disagree on
democracy.
stuff, but do something.
Yeah,
We
do
are
your
democracy.
job.
We are a representative democracy, but we still are a diverse group. And our government was set up for compromise. That's the way our founding fathers intended it. They intended for everybody to make their arguments and policy to come out of that, and there to be compromise from every side to work what was best. And the Republicans have said, "Fuck compromise. We're going to do everybody's going to do what we say, and we don't care what any of y'all think about it."
Well, they say the Senate is the cooling saucer, because all the fiery debate and arguments and all the things go on.
The Senate is better,
and then the Senate really sits and looks at it from a leadership point of view, or at least that's the idea. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that their job is to work out these things together that they want to put into law. But when you refuse to even, acknowledge who the president is, or think that Democrats are anything other than groomers, and you're not going to work with them in any way to do anything. I mean, this whole Speaker of the House thing, the whole big argument they were having is we don't want to rely on Democrats to do it. I mean, why do you not want to work together?
You know who the Speaker of the House hates more than Democrats? Atheists.
Oh yeah.
He blames atheists for all the bad things.
I'm going to email my video to him once I make it. And
they what they don't realize though, every one of them, they may have gotten elected. A lot of them are elected in gerrymandered districts. Really, they don't represent a true represent. Which I will say that the Supreme Court sucks, but they have been really good at going after these gerrymandered districts. I don't understand that.
Well,
it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot
because the Republican plan
get back.
The Republican plan is to make Trump king, and
the Republicans don't want Trump. I'm telling you, the Republican Party hates Trump.
Trump controls the Republican Party.
Voters are the ones that are the reason why they would love to get away with it. They would love to put him in the river somewhere.
Let me hold on. Let me back up here. So look, Republicans have a small majority in the House, right? And
four seats.
Right. And MAGA has used that. That's how they used it to get rid of McCarthy, because they have enough numbers to cancel that majority, right? So MAGA controls the Republican Party and Donald Trump controls MAGA. And Donald Trump wants to be king, okay? So I do agree with you that not all Republicans want Trump in that position, but they're being forced to follow these MAGA votes, because if not, MAGA has the ability to completely change the party, because they make up more than the majority they have. So MAGA is driving right now.
Kill him for him. They don't want to have to be they don't want to be the one that kills Trump. They want the law to do it. They are everyone sitting around with fingers crossed that he either has a stroke, a heart attack, or goes to prison.
I want these tarot cards to tell me when it's all going to go away and when this bad nightmare is going to end.
I mean, that's what DeSantis is sitting around. DeSantis is waiting. DeSantis is going, God, please let him lock him up. You know what I mean? Just everybody is waiting for him to just croak or something.
Yeah. Well, hopefully those things will get better. And it's funny that we started with witchcraft and ended up in politics.
I know.
How I said all these things are woven together. One thing leads directly into the other, and it's anybody who has their eyes open and is willing to look at the history and the information that's there will see the same thing.
The Speaker of the House would be one of the first ones to restart the witch trials, and not the witch trials Trump talks about.
Yeah. Mike Johnson is batshit crazy. And
the Christian nationalists are dangerous.
That Emmer guy would have been great.
They have dangerous ideas.
But he was actually voted for the Marriage Protection Act. You know, he voted against the trans ban in the military. You know, he was a decent human being.
Well, they wanted an election denier that'll go after Biden.
Nothing.
I'm sick. It's just so old. It's like it's just gotten so old. And even the Republicans have been pushing. We don't want to live in the past. It's a losing proposition to live in the past. And all the MAGA cultists, that's all they want to live.
We have to drag them kicking and screaming everywhere we go. That's what I tell them.
Can we see what the tarot cards say about Trump? Is there a way to do that?
Rub it.
Infecting my cards.
You got to rub your tarot cards in some doggy do first.
Yeah.
Get that Trump energy all on them.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that with all them 91 charges and them 4 indictments, that he's going to be found guilty on at least 2.
I think he's going to jail before the trial even gets there.
Every one of them. I mean, every one of them are shutting.
I think that D.C. federal judge is going to throw his ass in jail. Judge Chuckin.
He's going to get a contempt. He's going to get a contempt charge. He keeps pushing these judges.
And see, like people don't even say nothing about that. They're like, he's being what? Who else gets? I mean, when did we start talking to judges and people like that? When did we do that?
Yeah,
we've never been allowed to do that.
Again, when Trump walks out of the courtroom, as soon as he walks out, he addresses the press, says something like, "Oh, the witness just admitted that they have no case against me." And his trial is about damages. He's already been found liable. There is no someone admitted they don't have a case. That part's over. But he knows that some people aren't going to look at that. They're just going to take what he said as truth and assume that they're just trying to get him and this is a political hit job. But I have a feeling when it comes election time that all this is going to come out and he's going to be proven false to his face. I have a strong feeling that's what's going to happen. But is anybody going to care is the question.
He doesn't have very many voters. I mean, really, he don't. They're just really loud.
He has a snowball's chance in hell of winning an election. I mean,
but women and Gen Z are going to rip GOP this next election. Yeah. First of all, our bodily autonomy rights are on every, like, there's 6 states on this, like right now, that have got stuff on the ballot. You know what I mean? And like Ohio's
one. Yep.
Ohio has tried to change around everything to try to, I mean, they have pulled every kind of sneaky stunt that they could to try to win this, and they still getting beat in it. And you know what I mean? So women, even Republican women, I mean, like 71% of Americans think that Roe versus Wade should have been left alone.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they've caught the car now. They're the dog, and then they've caught the car, and they don't know what the hell to do with it. And you know what I mean? And now they don't have nothing else to run on, so that's why they had to start attacking everybody else, like trans people and books and stuff.
There has to be a boogeyman.
Yes, that's all they have. They have to have something for the voters to do, because if they ever start watching what they're doing, they'll
the new Snow White is the latest target. I see Matt Walsh talking about it, so that's what's stirring in the cesspool.
They went from the Little Mermaid to Snow White now.
If it's bubbling in the cesspool, Matt Walsh is covering it.
So but here let's look at how this.
But Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, 2 of the, you know what I mean. I don't know, what is that the most manly you got as far as commentation? I don't know.
They think so. They think so.
Yeah. So
Ben Shapiro went to Home Depot and bought a board. He proved his manlyhood. He bought a board.
He bought a board. He burnt the whole pit or I mean,
There-
I picture
Don't
him in the
forget,
Barbie
don't
movie.
forget Greg Locke. Greg Locke is
Oh God.
alpha male smashing up.
I've got a video of him
smashing up a
Barbie
Barbie
house.
house. Yeah, smashing a Barbie house. That's
Yeah,
what
but he
every
wasn't
alpha
scared
male
before
does.
The movie come
That,
out.
that was in my last televangelist video.
Hey,
that-
he's
if-
scared of
if
If
witches.
that don't make you manly, I don't know what do.
He's scared
He
of
had a
witches.
Bible taped to a baseball bat.
The witches hate
He's an
him.
idiot.
The witches hate him. Like,
I
and
bet.
I mean, like, and you know how he kept saying he kept finding all those cards and stuff under there.
They keep putting the tarot cards under my
Oh my
wood
gosh.
chips.
It was like something of just joy. You know what I mean? To just
Yeah.
harass him. That's what every witch. But I mean, all over the world, he is hated by witches. Hated
tent-
by witches.
I bet.
A circus tent with wood chips on the floor suits Greg Locke's services just
I
about.
mean, I would have went to
Yeah,
church.
right.
I thought about going to church once just to plan a couple of little things around. You know what I mean? I mean, he said that one day he said, "I can't take it anymore. I found so much." You know, he had to take it up because he couldn't stand it because he was
Greg
finding
Locke is a performer.
pentagrams
Is
and
what Greg Locke
everything.
is.
He freaks about the tarot cards. Always. Them tarot cards. There's tarot cards everywhere. Keep leaving the tarot cards.
I mean, if I saw him out anywhere, I would be like, "Blessed be." That's what I would say to him. You know what I mean?
He'd probably freak out.
He wouldn't do nothing to me. Not
But-
that he wouldn't.
Whenever we're talking, because we went from religion to politics and politics back to Greg Locke because it's all the same thing. They're counting on just telling people, "Hey, this is what the truth is," and
Absolutely.
knowing that people will just believe it.
Mhm.
And education. That's what I blame.
Oh,
Education.
Greg's branching out. Did you see he was hanging out with Benny Hinn?
No, but I've got a video I'm working on for him too.
He's doing exorcisms now.
Oh.
He wants to do exorcisms and
Oh wait, I think I've seen
healings
one of those.
and all that money making stuff.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
tells. Yeah, he tells.
Yeah,
he
he
tells
sees the
everybody
dollar
that
signs.
autistic kids are demon
I-
possessed.
You can't beat Catherine Crick. She counts to 3 and it's over, and then she jumps up and down, and no more demons. She gets them out of whole families by counting to 3.
I know. I can probably do that too.
Yeah, I can make it to 3.
And I'm playing with tarot cards, and I can't get a single demon to show up. I'm just so disappointed. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, you gotta plant your seed.
You got any chickens? You need chicken. Some chicken bones. That'd be pretty good.
Maybe
Voodoo was
tomorrow.
more into the
I got a
sacrifice, wasn't it?
I got a pot of chili I made yesterday, so today is chili day because you never
Damn, I'm
eat
coming to your
chili
house.
the day you make it. That is a sin. If there is a sin under heaven, it's eating chili the day that you make it.
I know, man. Isn't it so much better the next day?
It is.
If you use Carol Shelby's chili mix, it's good that day because it has masa that you mix up. It's flour and stuff.
It doesn't
And put it in
blend.
there, it
The
thickens.
blend just isn't there. It's got to sit, and it's not just the amount of time cooking. There's something about putting it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I'm
and
telling
letting
you,
it
Carol
cure
Shelby figured out
overnight.
how
Yeah.
to get around it.
I agree completely. I'm with you on that.
Well, I
The,
saw
Carol
they had
Shelby figured it out.
the best chili in America was on one of the cook shows, one of the cooking shows, and they said, "Yeah, you never serve chili the day we make it. They're always making chili for the next day." And they
Right.
said there's something that happens in the walk-in, and I'm like, "See, I knew there was
All
something."
the spices and stuff marry together. And
It does. It's
Yeah.
a total different blend after
And,
it gets
yeah,
cold and then hot again.
Yeah. If you eat chili the day you have it and you have leftovers and eat it the next day, it's always so much better the next day. Always. I mean, unless you screw it
Try
up.
Carol
But-
Shelby's. He figured it out. I'm telling you, he broke.
I will definitely.
broke
'cause
the
I'm-
secret on how to do
I
that.
don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna mess with my chili recipe. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm almost 60 years old. I gotta hang on to my recipe. It's
My
So do
best-
you like the
I-
spicy chili or is it
Chili?
more
I-
tame?
Someday, yes, you
I
can.
I put the last of my jalapenos I picked out of the garden in the chili.
Excellent.
I like just a little bit of sweat. You know what I mean? Just where you gotta maybe
I'm
pat
2
your
minutes
forehead.
from Ohio.
But I don't want to. I don't like it too hot to eat. I like to enjoy it. So
2 minutes from Ohio.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
close
on the
to.
other
I'm
end.
close to.
I'm on the other end though. It's
I'm close
you
to
gotta-
Dave's state anyway.
Are you in Kentucky?
No, he's in
I'm in
Ohio.
I'm in
Oh,
Ohio.
you're in Ohio. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I dig some chili. I don't know if you can tell by my fat head, but I'm a large guy, so I like some chili.
I have seasonal dishes, and chili's one of them. I don't make chili in the summer because it's hot out. That's when you make potato salad and stuff like and melon salad and all those kind of things. In the winter, when the fruits are all lame, I'm not craving watermelon. I want to make soup or chili or lasagna, something someone's going to cook all day and help warm up the house at the same time.
Yeah.
You go out in the kitchen, it's all nice and warm out there, and you warm up your hands by the stove on them chilly days, and
definitely. So anyway, let me drag this back to
drag it
topic
back.
Here. So
No, I'll just go in.
We were talking about spell. Is there some spell that you want to show as well, Robin?
You talk a little while, and I'm gonna go here and set this up to where I was.
Okay, me and Dave talk about chili, and you do what you. In fact, just wave at me when you come back, and I'll put you back on. Yeah, I agree with you completely on all that stuff, though. The cooking is not a immediate result thing all the time. It's there's other things that go. I don't
eat soup either.
Stuff,
when I make soup, it's overnight. What I usually do, like with chicken soup, I cook the whole chicken, and I cook it and cook it and cook it and cook it, and then I just put that away.
Yeah.
Then the next day I pull it out, and while it's just warm enough to get the congealed grease and everything thinned, just warm enough, then I pull it out and pull all the bones and everything out of it, and then I put all that in a pan on the side, and I keep cooking it as long as I can to get every little bit of that flavor out of the bones and all the bits you didn't you want the nice meat in the soup.
Yeah.
And then I let that cook and cook and cook too. And then I add that in at the last minute, get all that flavor out of there.
Yeah. See, my mom does that with
the next day. It's the next day. So I won't, I make vegetable soup. I make chicken soup, and I make my chili, and it's the wife and the kid will dip in there. They can't stand they'll smelling it all day. And they're like, ooh, I got to have a little. So they're over there. But I always refrain. I always, nope. I'm going to wait. And today it's going to be delicious. So it's been slow cooking all afternoon. So yeah, chili.
Thanks, Dan.
It's one of those good warm you up on a chilly day type things. It's
for sure.
It's the soup stew type thing. That's just warming you up anyways.
In our part of the country,
the spices.
That's common.
Yeah, we're cold up here. All you people that are in the south and stuff.
I even like going a little further north. I like things like clam chowder and stuff like that. I like that stuff during the winter too. Just a nice warm bowl of some kind of stew or soup or whatever. Yeah. Great for the cold weather that we get. You get it worse than I do, but we get some good ones though, being on the Ohio River.
Not so bad the last few years with the climate change here.
Yeah, I know.
I was talking. I don't think I had my snow shovel out last year.
Now I shovel snow for people during the winter. I go to their houses.
I want to do it here.
Yeah. No. I actually thought about
getting no snow.
A snow blower, but I go shovel snow, and I think last winter I maybe had 3-4 days I went out and worked. That was it.
I think I used my snow thrower twice. I bought it. We were getting a big storm, and I was like, oh, heck no, am I shoveling all that snow? So I bought a snow thrower, and I used it for the storm, and it was a good thing because it was all drifting in the driveway, and the end of the driveway was buried, And then that's like 5-6 years ago or something. I think I've used it one other time since. So.
Oh, yeah.
And as I say, last year, I don't even think I cleaned off the the front steps or anything.
We get a couple good storms every year, and then a couple like just an inch or something like that. That's what it's been the last couple years. Last couple years, we've had big, horrible ice storms that knocked out electricity for weeks and stuff.
Well, the
we had
Lake Erie too hasn't been freezing over like when I was a kid. The guys,
the Ohio River used to freeze too.
Yeah, the guys my dad would work with and that they'd go out after work and they'd drive right out on the lake and drill a hole and start fishing. And it's like I wouldn't drive out on the lake these days.
No,
if it freezes at all. Yeah,
I haven't seen the Ohio River freeze over since I was a kid, and I've seen it a couple times when I was a kid, but it hasn't done it since. And if that's not evidence of warmer winters, I don't know what is. But yeah.
Well, my friends in Florida said it was weird in Florida. It didn't rain over the summer in Florida.
Oh, wow.
They're like, it's like tropical, it almost rains almost every day, at least a little bit. And they said it's the weirdest thing. It didn't rain for most of the summer. Not counting when they had their little storms, that blew through.
Yeah.
But just the normal everyday, the joke always is in the tropics, oh, it's raining. Everybody covers everything up. Okay, it's gone now, right?
Yeah, right.
Then you continue on with your day,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the weird. And then, of course, with the fires in Hawaii, too, they weren't getting rain. That's why it caught on fire.
Yeah, right.
There's something wrong when Hawaii isn't getting rain.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's not really surprising that the climate deniers are also part of those other groups, but
same people.
Yeah, it's
same,
the same
20 about 20% of the same ones.
The thing that really bothers me about that, though, is that a lot, especially your fundamentalists, think that it doesn't matter what we do or how much we destroy the earth or anything, because the world's not going to end until God comes back and does it. And so they could care less about preserving the world that we have. And I think that is just that's really one of the most harmful positions. And one of the reasons I call myself an atheist more than an atheist, because
that's your Speaker of the House.
Crazy.
That's your Speaker of the House.
Yeah, exactly. And now
God is in control of the climate. The climate change stuff is all nonsense. And these are not the people we need in office. It's just not. And so I feel like now, because these people are also part of these religious fundamentalist groups, so I feel like now more than ever, it's so important to try and get the information out and talk to as many people as you can about what they think and stuff. It's almost an epistemology approach. Like you need to really get people to think about what they believe and compare that with what the actual facts are. And it's so hard to sometimes, YouTube, being an atheist YouTube creator, sometimes I'm speaking to a echo chamber, because a lot of the people come to watch that agree with me. But we try to reach others. It's not about having subscribers to make money at least the option is there. If a believer wants to check out what the other side is saying, at least it's there. So
and that's like, I don't promote my channel to become famous or get subscribers for that reason. I do it to reach more people so that I can talk to more people and have more opinions and have more feedback.
I'm doing it for the panties thrown on stage. I don't know where your motivation is.
Well, somebody did send me a disc, which was awesome. But those things are good.
I started my channel because some things, well, for one thing, I like to run my mouth about a lot of things. So my wife was always pushing me to, you need an outlet to vent, And so, some of my videos are things that are my stance on things. And there it is. You want to know what it is? Go watch my video. I'm sick of repeating myself, I don't want to tell the story again, stupid things like explain all evolution to me in 140 characters. And it's like,
I know.
go away.
Yeah.
Just go away. Okay.
I can't stand trying to argue with people on
Get
Twitter.
off my lawn. Okay. See these gray hairs?
Uh,
I ain't got time for it. All right. I went that around and around with people for many years, way back to AOL and the dial-ups and the chat rooms back then. And before that, in the parking lots with the preachers on the flatbeds. I just,
I've been there.
well, that's, with you doing the debate and everything. And it's like, you do the debates. I don't want to do them. So,
Right. Yeah.
I'll let other folks do them. It's just not my thing.
And that's
I'd rather
fair,
do things like this where we just talk.
Yeah.
And if I've got an opinion on somewhere, I'll make a video and I'll put it out there.
If you look at what I do, I release videos, especially when I do something about televangelists or something. I release videos that I know will get, a decent amount of views from my position anyway. And it's not necessarily because I want to always debate or things like that. But then when I come back and do one of these live streams, some of those people that may have subscribed because of that come and be part of this conversation. And, and that's how I've met some of the people that come on and talk to me. But it's all in furtherance of a goal, to expose and educate and talk about the truth of things. And that's my motivation in doing the things I do, because I feel like if I really want to be effective at this, not only do I have to make good content, but I have to be able to play the algorithm side of it too, in order to talk to those people. So yeah, there's different positions and different ways to approach all this, and none of them are wrong. They're, it's all the same fight, so that's, I'm watching Robin is why I'm stuttering.
I also, I like to, cover stuff like Bigfoot and everything too. You never know what we're going to cover because I got a lot of interests in a lot of things. And if something's interesting to me, I just might do a video about it. So, and if you don't like it, I don't really care.
Can you see that?
Right, exactly. Yeah, let me see here.
Go ahead, pop me backstage because I got to go check my chili.
Okay, sounds good.
I got to make sure it's not too hot.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Sounds good, buddy. All right, let's see if I can. I'm going to put you on the big screen. I won't be able to talk, but I'll step back in if need to, but I'm going to put you up so everybody can see better what you're doing here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to cast a little spell to try to get Kentucky Atheist to 1,000 subscribers by the next full moon cycle. I've got everything here. My pentacle, I've got all the elements represented. Water, I'm going to use. This is moon water that had a quartz in it and set out the full moon. We're going to fill our chalice up with that. So we have the water energy represented. And the bell represents air. And it cleans the energy, bad energy out of it. Then I have these elephants, these little elephants. There's a jade one and 2 quartz elephants. Elephants are lucky. They are supposed to bring you luck and prosperity. This represents the earth, which I can burn herbs in that, but I don't have a thing. I've got a key here. Keys unlock. It unlocks luck or unlocks, things. So we're going to use that. I brought some road opener oil to put on the candle. This is supposed to clear any blockages out away from letting our spell manifest. I keep some crystals with me all the time. This is turquoise, one of the best crystals ever. And there's several. There's some black. There's just some good protection, and then I have an orange candle. Green would be each candle color has sort of an intent. Orange is sort of a good luck, prosperity, and it matches the Halloween decoration. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna rub a little bit of this oil on there, that road opener oil, so that we can burn that and get that spell out into the universe and get our subscribers. You can even write sometimes if you want to write what you want your spell to be, like subscribers. You can carve it into your candle, and as you burn it, then that intent burns with it too. All right. Now I've got some herbs I was going to use. I was going to grind up here to put in. I'm going to put agrimony. And a little bit of allspice or clove. Clove is prosperity. There's a lot. The herbs all have sort of their own intentions of things. And then I have ginger. And ginger actually is used to speed up. It's like adding a booster to your spell. Ginger is. Ginger and there's a couple more herbs that are boosters. So it won't really do anything except it will put the spell in fast mode. Oh, Ross, my thing is gone back from there. There it is. This is the best part of being a witch, is having one of these. All right. Now I could burn that in my pot, but I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to rub these herbs on the candle. Since I put the oil on there. Let me put a little more oil on it. Just rub them on there, rub them on the candle. Put your candle back in there. And we're going to light. And I don't have a lighter. Didn't bring a lighter. Kentucky Atheist, are you there?
Yes.
Come back on and say something while I go get a lighter, because I forgot.
Sounds, I will do. So everybody that's watching, be sure to like and subscribe real quick. Robin went to grab a lighter to light her candles and stuff. We're doing a spell to try and get 1,000 subscribers. So my part of this is I'm going to make some videos over the next few weeks into the next lunar cycle and see if we can together accomplish this between Robin's spell and my motivating my lazy ass to get up and make a video. We'll see if we can get to 1,000 subs. We set at 551 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me.
No matter what, it's always going to. It definitely will be my spell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn a little incense. I got.
Maybe you'll end up with 1,000 subscribers.
This is dragon blood incense too. This is dragon's blood is good for prosperity and protection. And this is the most fun part about being witchcraft is learning all the correspondence, because you just get to learn all this stuff that you just means nothing actually.
So while we're talking here, Robin, Aunt Jer asked, "Is that a pibble behind you?"
A what?
Pibble, Pibble.
Kibble.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. So
I don't know what she's talking. What are they talking about?
I don't know.
Up on the wall, maybe.
When they answer here, I will. I'll tell you. Go ahead and continue, and if they explain what they're talking about, I will. Oh, Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull. No, she is a.
I see why you did it.
Yeah, she's a. Oh my gosh, I can't even think what kind of dog she is right now. She's a very weird dog. She's mutt, but she is a Catahoula leopard dog.
Wow.
She's like spotted up like a leopard, but she doesn't really look. She's not full stop Catahoula. They are like they're retriever type dogs, hunting dogs. They have like waterproof fur. You know, they have that real thick, fur that like if you get her wet, she hates to get wet. She hates it.
Really?
But she is just a big, fat, lazy baby is what she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would not let me trick her into going up there and putting her in the bedroom while I go. It was like she wasn't having anything of it. And I can't carry her nowhere because she's like just a chunk.
Well, I'm gonna step back out and let you do your thing here.
I'm done. We've got everything. I've got everything going. I brought all the like I said. I brought all the different correspondence. I mean, the thing about it is the more you correspond all your magic together, the stronger it's supposed to be. So here is my book that I made of correspondence. This is like the biggest binder that you can buy. And it is like, I have everything in here. I know everything that you would ever want to know, that from the time, the sign, the planets, the what kind of crystals you use, what kind of candles you use, what color candles you use, what kind of herbs you use. Everything. I mean, this is like incense. This is like I got so into this stuff. It's like obsessive in my mind for so long. And then it's like I learned all this shit for nothing because it's just as fake as the rest of it. But I did enjoy it though. I enjoyed it actually.
So what do we have? What do we have to do in the spell? Is it done?
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna let that candle burn. That candle needs to burn down. It needs to burn out. And then I usually take my spell, like your trash, like the candle burnings, and if there's any herbs left, everything that you used in the spell that is, I take it and you bury in it most of the time. A lot of people bury them.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. But when you I could do an incantation, but I don't have one rolled up for that. But the intent goes into the candle.
Right.
Like as I'm rubbing the oil on it, and as I'm putting the herbs in there and stuff, that I kind of think about my intention of what I want.
So all those actions you're taking them with intent. And that's supposed to put that vibe or that energy into the candle.
Into the candle. And then candle magic is a specific. Candle magic is where you don't have to focus your energy to something else. You focus all your energy into the candle, and then when you burn the candle, that's your intent goes out. It's like the candle is a tool for holding your intent until it burns off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some spells you're supposed to raise the circle, and the dome and stuff, and you're supposed to build up the energy inside. But the candle, you just kind of hold it and put the intent in it, and you can, like I said, you can carve messages on it. You rub it down with oils. You roll it in herbs, and you let it burn up. And you light it with intent.
Right.
And here's my magic wand too.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I have a couple of these, which I have some wood ones too, but this is just a
I've been looking for somebody with a hazelnut tree, because you're supposed to find a branch from a hazelnut tree
to make a wand.
Yep.
Well, see, these are selenite wands. You can buy these at the crystal stores, and this is like really good for clearing your crystals and everything too.
Plus, so is that just a big chunk of crystal?
Yeah, this is selenite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I have like a couple of these, and they're good for doing anything. Like my friend, she went and had her chakras cleaned one time, and that's what they did. They held this thing so far away from her body, and they run one of these over her, all over her body about that far away, and it's supposed to clean all her chakras out.
Yeah.
And the good thing about selenite is that it actually is like salt. It absorbs the negative energy and filters it and cleans it and puts it back out. It's good energy.
So hazelnut trees, do those grow in this area of the country, Dave?
It says northern hemisphere, so
I think wormwood.
So they're very widespread. I've got a lot of woods around here.
And you're supposed to trim it at sunset or sunrise or something like that.
Does it matter which branch?
I think it's got to be 19 inches long, I think it said.
And you got to ask
like if it's the first branch or any of them, or
just
to be clear,
it just said some measurements for the branch. And
you must ask permission before you cut the branch.
Okay.
You ask the tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ever cut anything off a plant without,
I'm putting feelers out, trying to find somebody that knows where one's at. So we'll see what happens.
But I think there's other trees. Okay. But you can buy them. But you can get you a selenite wand.
Yeah. Well, you can buy the branches, but
because the selenite wand,
I thought that was kind of cheating. But if I can't find one, you can order the branches online. So
the selenite wand will clean your cards too. The wood wand is actually for drawing the circle, and like some witches use that in doing spells too. They use, instead of like using their finger to draw the circle with or salt, they'll use the wand, and it's fun to have a magic wand.
That's one of the first things in my witchcraft book is you need a wand. So I'm working on it.
Do you have a Wicca book? Is that what it is?
It's just a collection of stuff. It's like a general. I didn't get a specific.
In general.
Yeah, I didn't get a specific book because I just wanted something to cover, things in general.
Who wrote it? Who's the author?
Let me see.
Aunt Jer said, preferably find a branch on the ground that the tree has already given up. That probably makes sense, right? That's probably
yes. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Aunt Jer's right.
Yeah.
That way you don't cut nothing off the tree, but you need to ask permission from the tree.
Well, that's
this is by Anastasia Gray Wolf.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh.
She's Wiccan, I think. Pretty sure she's Wiccan.
I'm sorry, I brain farted there. So
I got a question. The bell. What's the significance of the bell?
Okay, the bell represents the air. The bell also cleanses it. You can get a bell for your
I got a bell.
Okay. The bell cleanses out the energy. It cleanses it like just automatically knocks all the negative energy out.
So do that along with your sage in the beginning then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first thing you did, wasn't it? It was ring the bell. Like when you did the
I
spell,
filled the water up too. The water, the chalice.
the water.
I
Yeah.
put the water. See, I
And-
used to. I would take water, like I would catch it in a rainstorm. If it was like a storm in the summer, I would have a jar that had summer storm water in it. Hurricane, people would drive all the way down there to get hurricane water. But I would catch it in the rain, and then during the full moon, I would set it outside in a clear jar and put a crystal in the jar with it and let it set out during the full moon. And then I would bring it in and put it in bottles and label it like whatever it was. You know, it was like full moon, April full moon or something like that. And so I had like hundreds of jars of water that were all like spring storm and winter storm and snow and all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
I like the when you look at how people have assigned, like, it's not a belief in a god, but they have assigned these supernatural powers to each of these things for different reasons. Kind of like how the Greek gods are set up, even, you know, like each of these powers has its own place and thing that it does and whatever, and there is no almighty power in it.
But before we knew about the elements that we know now, you know, like the elemental table or whatever.
Right.
These are the basic elements of life that the pagan that people could see: water and air and fire and earth. We could not survive, you know what I mean, without one of them. I mean, we need all of them, all four of them. And so these were considered the elements. And then of course in the middle, sometimes some people put spirit. But not all pagans actually worship a spirit. Like, it's just, you can do whatever you want, really. Most of them can. You know,
Yeah.
you tailor your witchcraft to your own preference, unless you're a Wiccan, and they sort of have a set, but still it's not binding. It's not like, you know, it's not like a religion where you have to, like, you know what I mean, you have to follow these rules.
Right. You use so the power of it, I guess, the power behind it that is, you know, believed to be there, that's behind so you have representations of these powers of each of the elements that you put on the table. Mm-hmm. And that's like your offering to them to get their power, to use their power to do whatever thing it is. Okay. All right.
And see, like, I'm a Taurus, which is the earth element. So my most powerful probably element to use would be earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I'm doing a spell for communication, say I want somebody to call me. I want to make somebody call me. You do a communication spell, you do a spell using air. You know what I mean?
Right.
To get the message across, like Hermes, you can use like the god Hermes. You can use stuff like that, stuff that like ginger and stuff that speeds across. So what your intent of your spell is about, you know, you can just tailor. Writing your own spells is really neat. I mean, I hardly ever used any kind of like you know, just blank common spell. I wrote my own spells.
So you can transfer your intent or energy into the thing you're making physical contact with, or the whatever it is you're working with. The act of working with it puts your intent and energy into it.
Yes.
And
so, and think about it. Candle magic is probably one of the easiest for people to start with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't require you building what they call it, the cone of power, which is where there's so much visualization to perform magic, and visualization is hard. It is very hard. I mean,
right.
I never realized how hard it is, because you are supposed to maintain a constant visualization of like your intent, your spell working. You know what I mean? You're supposed to see it, the results coming back to you. And as you do that, you build up energy and energy and energy inside your circle. Okay.
Yeah.
And when the energy supposedly gets so massive that you feel like, then you release it out. That's when you open your circle up and release the energy.
Yeah.
The candle, you just do all that to the candle and then you burn it. It's just candle magic is just really simple magic. I mean, it is really simple. Anybody can, that's one of the first magics, like, practicing that you learn. Because candle magic, you just hold the candle in your hand and you just sit there and you meditate or you visualize what you want that candle to do. And you do the same thing with your herbs. You'll hold them in your hand and think about it and maybe say something while you're putting them on there, and your oils, and then you burn it. And as it burns your intention into the.
I got candles.
Oh, sweet. Let's see what Dave has.
Always burn a white candle too when you're reading.
Well, I got the kit I got has a spoon too.
Yeah, you need to burn a white candle.
What's the little fancy spoon for? Is that for doing your just for handling your herbs and whatnot?
Where'd you get that at?
Came with the candles.
It's a witchcraft supply kit.
Oh, it's for herbs. Yeah. Yeah.
It came with a big old bag of herbs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because some of those herbs you don't need to touch.
It came with
hyssop is the Bible. In the Psalms, that's why you read Psalms. It says, "Clean me with hyssop."
All your little doodads in your bottles here. All your
you got rue, and
it's got things like agate, obsidian. Yeah, these are all ground up. These are all ground up crystals.
Yeah, those are crystals.
Oh.
In little jars.
So you still have the crystals, but you got a bunch of little ones.
Yeah, these are all ground up ones.
Yeah.
you can put those on your candles too. You can rub those on your candle too, and put them in your or put them in like a little jar. Make what they call a little spell jar. You can also do spell jars. That's another kind of spell. Besides candle magic, you can do a spell jar. I used to make these little balls. Like the Halloween ornaments that are clear, that are round. I would take a bunch of herbs like protection herbs, bay leaves, and stuff like that, and do a spell with them, and then fill those little balls up with them and hang them on all my doors and windows. And in fact, all my windows still have them on there because those are protection balls.
And that circle you were talking about, this I told you I had one.
There it is.
Okay, that's
it's got the sun and moon or the moon phases and stuff on it.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's all my little doodads I got.
I mean, the biggest thing about this is that it's a money-making business. You know what I mean? Because when you
That's
decide...
the same thing as this, isn't it?
When you decide you want to do this, you want the stuff. You mean you want the herbs, you want the crystals, you want the... I've probably spent $500, $600 on crystal. I've spent $300, $400 on herbs. I probably sold $2,000 worth of books.
This is the Witchcraft kit. Everything in a box you need to be a witch.
Yes.
That's neat.
That's what I got.
That's pretty cool.
Doesn't have a wand in it, no, but I love the bell though. The bell, because the Zen Buddhists ring a bell too, and I always like the bell they have. They always sound really nice. And this one,
yes,
it sounds really nice. It's got that nice, ring to it. It is pleasing to
crisp.
Just to listen to, yeah. So I can understand the cleansing thing, because people have used bells for a long time and people like listening to bells. So, if it's, anything like that arouses any kind of feelings or emotions or anything like that, I can see why somebody would ascribe some kind of power to it.
Focus.
Right. Yeah. It seems to me like what this is you take your intentions and you do these ritual things with intention, and that's the whole thing behind it is it's the person and what they intend to do, and then their reliance on those powers will achieve that for them.
Well, but see, witches don't rely on that. Witches pretty much universally believe that you have to do the mundane too.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do a spell for a job and then never go out and put an application in. You know what I mean?
So,
that's not how magic works. And so what you're doing is you're supplementing your mundane actions with intent. But I told you, like, I had the love spell done. Somebody else did the love spell. And I mean, I would have bet you $1,000 that love spell worked, just because of what the words that I heard. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
yeah.
I told a few people, watch out, because I'll send a love spell your way.
See, like, a lot of witches won't pass love spells because they're called. They think that they take away the free will. Like, if you're trying to coerce somebody into loving you or something like that, come back, that they have to fight against it. Of course, that's So love spells are not every witch will do love spells.
Yeah. Well,
I like to the hell out of a man. So I like dragging him around, like push pull. Never did stay long.
Well, there's and actually this is something that some people pointed out to me the other day whenever I was talking about witchcraft and stuff, that there's like secular witchcraft. Do you know much about that?
No, I really didn't know that too much. I mean, I kind of like it, but I guess if I loved all the witchcraft stuff, but I guess now that I know that I'm not really doing any magic, I just really don't care about the ritual anymore. I don't know. Maybe I just, I don't know. Maybe I drive a truck. I spend a lot of time by myself listening and stuff. That's meditation like. And I just don't feel like doing the rituals anymore. I don't feel like, I'm just never was a big ritual person. Well,
you stirred up the wind here.
I did. Pretty windy. Yeah.
It got windy all of a sudden. I'm like, what's that noise? It's like, oh, it looks like it got windy outside.
Well, whenever I made some remarks about witchcraft and woo-woo and all that stuff, and how supernatural powers and all that, and there were some people in the community who contacted me and said, hey, there's atheist witch and secular witchcraft and all this stuff, and I will look into that, and in the future I think we're actually going to try to every so often have like a witchcraft show where we talk about some aspect of witchcraft or some different bit of witchcraft or whatever, like voodoo or this atheist witchcraft. And so I'm actually going to start trying to every so often get into some of that stuff, because just like any other religion, it's a question of beliefs and lack of beliefs, and where do these people stand and how do they think they achieve these things. And so I really like looking into that the same way as any other religion, and it's something I don't know about, so everybody can learn with us, and
that's how I was looking at it. It's like, I don't care if you believe in this stuff or not. It's like,
well, okay,
like I said, tarot cards. So I want to know what's so scary about the tarot cards. So I got some tarot cards. All right.
An atheist
you want to understand the perspective.
An atheist could believe in witchcraft. An atheist could believe that tarot cards work. As long as you're not putting a deity into it, then everything else is outside of that, right?
Right. Well, see, even from my knowledge of witchcraft, from my basic knowledge of witchcraft, I thought deities were involved always in it. Like I don't know anything about this
only
stuff.
if you want them, and then you pick the deity. I mean,
it's actually surprising. I never looked into witchcraft.
Some people worship just a spirit, like a huge, like a conscious universe. I mean,
right.
I mean, I would have, there was a long time where I've subscribed to the, we all are part of the collective consciousness of the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, and now when I watch Matt answer like a call on that, it's like, rah! And I'm like, God, I'm so glad I didn't ever call you and try to explain that to people. But I mean, you can.
There's nothing wrong with changing your
and not believe, and still be atheist.
There's nothing wrong with changing your mind. I mean,
I
like to remind myself. Well, I like to remind myself back in my younger days, I was a little harsh on people that believed in certain things. And then I came to realize that there can be a lot of reasons people believe in things, and it doesn't always mean they're stupid. So I've changed my ways, and now I've realized smart people can believe in silly things, just like Michael Shermer's book, and Alex O'Connor covered it too. Einstein believed in silly things. So,
well, and that's really, I really want to, if I'm going to say that I approach things from a skeptical point of view, then I need to talk to people that know these individual beliefs and assess what I can assess. Having more information just gives me, a better reason for my position. And,
my kids ask me all the time, why do you watch this show? All you're doing is yelling at the TV. And it's like, because an argument from ignorance is a weak position. That's why.
Right. And these things come up, and it's always good to know stuff like this. And,
people ask me all the time, do you really believe in Bigfoot?
Right.
And I'm like, well, I must be fairly objective, because some people think I believe in Bigfoot. So I hope I'm being fair.
I mean, my ex-boyfriend believed in Bigfoot, and I never did believe in Bigfoot until him. And he was like older than me and very wise. And I decided that if he believed that there was a Bigfoot, that there was a Bigfoot. I mean, I would have swore up and down that Bigfoot was more real than my mom probably at one time. I mean, everywhere he went, he was looking for a Bigfoot. And so, yeah.
And I really don't have any problem with Bigfoot hunters, because you never hear about Bigfoot hunters bothering anybody. So, you want to spend your night in the woods, knock yourselves out. I've got no problem with it. They're not passing laws against people. They're not harming anyone. They're out in the woods looking for Bigfoot. So yeah, maybe they'll find one. We'll see.
They're convincing people to believe in stuff that with the bad evidence. That's the bad.
Well, thing. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to.
Like the witchcraft and stuff. I think the witches. I mean, I don't even like to compare them to the religious people. I mean, because they are most of them, almost 100% of them are LGBTQ friendly, supportive. They support human rights, women's rights. They support animal rights. They support. They're a supportive community with each other.
That's that's too humanist for the religion to stand.
Well, I mean,
they are the sisterhood, and the witches, and they stick together, and I mean they fight amongst themselves sometimes, but they're still there is still so much strength, and they just don't have any. I mean, I don't other than conning people out of money, I guess. I mean, because I'd say I probably spent $5,000 at least on stuff.
That's probably part of it too.
I spent.
I mean,
I spent a couple of quick bucks, and I was like, I gotta control myself. I'm buying too much witchcraft stuff here. I just
see. I'm sort of like a
that's so neat.
Obsessive compulsive person.
But I like to know stuff. So
that's the same. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I think it's interesting to understand any reason that people assign to you know, their life and makes them, you know, they live their life and every aspect around around this belief or this you know, intuition or whatever. And I think that's really neat to look at. Even among Christians, I like to talk to individual ones and get, you know, what is it that you actually believe, because it's something different for everybody you talk to. And
I like to say I don't dismiss things because I haven't looked into them.
Right.
I dismiss them because I've looked into them.
Right, exactly. And you know, as Matt said famously, I want to know as many true things as I can and discard as many false things. You know, that's not quite what he said, but you get it. Like, yeah, that's what it's about. And
if you can walk through walls, or if you can levitate, or if you can tell me what's going to happen tomorrow, that would be neat.
Yeah.
That would be really neat. I mean, I want to see you walk through a wall or something. I am not so close-minded that I'm going to say, "Oh no, that's not happening."
Oh, exactly. You know, Daniel,
I just don't see it happening.
I think it's still here, sent me a podcast in Discord last night, and he didn't think I would listen to it, and I said, "No, I'll listen to anything you send me." You know, even though me and him don't always see eye to eye, and I sometimes think he might just be a troll. You know, I still check it out and look into it.
Sometimes it's hard to tell. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I still try to at least look at it, you know, and maybe sometimes I'm biased or whatever, but I do assess it. I don't just dismiss anything. And I think that has to be the goal. Guys, I've got to kind of wrap this up here. We're in over 3 hours.
Chili time. It's about chili time. You know,
about
right?
Chili 30, right?
About chili 30.
Candles almost burnt completely out, so the spell is just about done. It's
there you go.
There it is.
So the subscribers should be like, give it a few days. It'll take probably a couple of weeks before it really gets
well. We'll definitely update this and let everybody know how it's going. Of course, you can see yourself, but we'll talk about it again at a later date.
I'll help you out where I can. And
oh yeah, you're welcome to join anytime. Of course.
Well, you said I could repost it on my channel. So
yeah.
Why don't you say hello to everybody at the Captive Desk too, and tell them, come subscribe to the Kentucky Atheist so we can fulfill this spell.
All right. Yeah, hopefully that does it.
And Robin, thank you so much. I learned a lot. I appreciate your time. It was great. I now have a better understanding of the tarot cards, and I really appreciate it.
I have anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks advice. I've got plenty of knowledge on witchcraft, tarot, every other thing. Thank y'all. It's been fun. I got to at least wear my witch hat today and my purple and black pantyhose. So, yeah.